is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5, the Sports Hub. If Felger and Mazz get on your nerves in the afternoon, wait until you hear them in the morning. In for Toucher and Hardy, it's Felger and Mazz on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher.
Right, Toucher on Instagram. Follow and see dog humping videos.
And Hardy.
I'm going to withhold sex.
On 98.5.
Hello.
Hey there.
Yo. Can we use this for the radio?
What?
Let me hear you say, na 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 na.
Crush me, mommy.
Just not enough booty to go around? Say my name.
I'm a robot.
I'm the son of the post. I'll chase you around a little bit. Wow. Holy smokes. Yeah.
Instagram.
I want to dip it in. What?
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back some fun. Having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go. How you guys doing?
Rise and shine, bitches.
We almost had a real incident here to start my morning, so yeah, no, it's a real pisser so far.
So first of all, Ryan, I thought we were gonna play Toucher and Hardy music. There we go. Thank you. There we go. What is that, Murray? What is it?
What's what? This music?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Me neither.
It's Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh, I like them too.
Murray, what's the matter?
Well, let's see. We'll put the snow stuff to the side. Unbeknownst to me, this time of the morning, the bathrooms are locked. I don't know why. I guess this building's afraid of like local bums coming in for shelter. I don't know, but a door was about to get kicked down, and the poor guys in the back had to just deal with an angry bear, because I about lost my mind. But I was able to get in, thankfully. So, I was able to go to the bathroom because the bathrooms are locked in the building. That's cool. That was a great way to start.
Security card didn't work?
And not initially, no. And it wouldn't keep working. And then finally it did. So, yeah, you got to lock the bathrooms. That was great. All right. No, we're good. Good morning.
How was your ride in, Murray?
Again, a real pisser. That was great. Great. No, just got to keep thinking of the comp day. So that's where I'm at. I'll be awake in about 2 hours mentally. I'm good now. Like, for now. I'm good. Mazz, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I had a nice drive in. I'm raring to go. Let's rock.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us, folks, Felger, Mazz, and Murray are filling in for Toucher and Hardy this morning, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Got a lot of stuff planned for you. Great weekend of football, which we'll be talking about a lot. We're also going to hit on Brad Marchand getting benched over the weekend, apparently. More Celtics troubles. We'll have some we'll do some Toucher and Hardy stuff. We're going to shoot the breeze. We're going to do the email bit. I got a Grateful Dead game for you. I don't know if I have the heart to do it. I don't know if I got the nerve to go ahead and do it. But Ryan Beaton, who's producing today, and I did a little Grateful Dead game because I know how much the morning show appreciates some tasty Grateful Dead licks. So maybe we'll get to that later on in the show. I don't know. But this is our first morning show. It's the first time we've done this, right? No, unless I'm mistaken.
Since I've been with you, yeah.
Definitely the first time. I mean, at least here. I don't know if you ever did it at the other place years ago.
I don't think so.
I did.
You ever do Dennis and Callahan?
Yes.
Mazz?
Oh,
you must have, right?
Yeah. I was just telling these two clowns back here, Ryan and Kyle, that years ago I remember I either did, Murray, a full week or 2 weeks. I can't remember. Going in, I thought, well, this ought to be fun. Coming out of it, I thought, I'm never doing this again. Like,
was
that's
it because
the
of the hours or because of them?
The hours. Yeah. The hours. They were up. It was the hours. This is just not natural.
No,
Fortunately,
it's not.
today I'm a little geeked up. I'm a terrible sleeper anyway. That was years ago when I was younger. Now I'm ready to go. This is right up my alley.
I got to be honest. You have a little too much zip for my.
Oh, I know I do. I can tell, Murray. You have that look on your face.
And not to make. So the lights are on in here too. Why? Like turn. It's just. That was the first thing. I walk in. I'm like these. Oh, cool. Like the bright like on the surface of the sun lights are on for some reason. Why? I don't know. It's not like we're on TV today, are we? No, we're not, right?
I've been asked that TV roll. I think they're rolling on us today, so they asked for the lights to be on.
Well, I was just going to say, we are on YouTube TV. I am dialed into Zoom, but they can't get me up. So if you're watching on YouTube TV, I'm not up yet on the video part of it. But we are up on YouTube TV. Murray, didn't you used to do a morning show?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, at different points in my life. Yeah. And each day worse than the last. And that's why, going forward, if I were to ever be offered to have to, like you're offered mornings, the number starts at 350 and not a penny less. And in today's world, the way that radio is, that number's not realistic. So, oh well, I guess I'd just go drive Uber then. Because if this was the last radio job available, Jim Murray, you get to do mornings, which I actually think I'd be pretty good at. But if Jim Murray, you get to do mornings, cool. The number starts at 350. Oh, we can't afford that? Oh well, I'll go drive Uber.
I've always said, Mazz, I think Murray would be an excellent morning guy.
Oh, yeah, no, terrific.
He's a true radio guy, right? Like, creative, talented voice, he can do all of it. He can absolutely thrive not doing sports, like all that. Like, he'd be a tremendous morning guy. Why are you such a bad morning person, though, Murray?
Oh, it's an ungodly time of day. No, because I'm a night owl. Like, even the last time I did it, 10 plus years ago, whatever it was, working in Connecticut, to make this work, you realistically should go to bed around 8:30, 9. That's never going to happen. So you try to sustain on 3 to 4 maybe hours of sleep. You're always sleepy. You're always trying to catch up. It never works. Oh, it's a living nightmare. It's no way to live. And I've told you on the off-air show too. It's the last time I did it, I had to get on medical grade laxatives because I get dried out because I need to pound coffee and the hell ride in while I'm trying to stay awake and not drive off the road. So it's double the caffeine, and then your body's all screwed up. Had to get on medical grade laxatives during that duration, and it's a nightmare. It's a living nightmare. Those guys will tell you when we have Hardy on at 9. When he's going to be upset about the Lions. And that's a horrible thing that he had to do. Spend all that money to go there and watch that team lose. And we'll ask him what a living nightmare it is to do this shift.
Medical grade laxatives?
Oh, yeah. Like the kind you take before a colonoscopy. Not just the over-the-counter stuff.
And that you have to do it on a daily basis?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. You get dried right. That's why I'm pounding waters now.
Huh. Mazz, so you get up at 4:30 every day, right?
Somewhere in there.
Oh, yeah, why?
Because I'm a bad sleeper, Murray. What do you think? It's a choice? Seriously. No, I'm a bad sleeper. What can I tell you? I've been a bad sleeper for the majority of my adult life. When I was a kid, I slept like a baby. Not anymore. So I'm up anyway. I think, what the hell? Let's go.
Can I ask you something, Mazz?
Yeah.
What do you do?
What do you mean? In the morning?
Yeah, when you wake up at 4:30.
Oh, gadgets and projects.
How do you fill that time?
Well, we don't need to get into every detail, but
searching for new apps to download, searching for new gadgets to buy.
I'll tell you what, Murray.
Polishing the errands.
So I'll tell you what. So it's actually, when you're married and have kids, it's actually a really enjoyable time of day because nobody else is up. There's a good part to it. So I get on, grab myself a cup of coffee, take out my phone, start flipping through the internet. I start reading. I turn off ESPN. First hour and a half of the day, not so bad. Once everybody wakes up, it sucks. It goes downhill from there. That's pretty much how it works.
It's the people that ruin everything. Yeah.
But so you just sort of putz around the house?
Pretty much. Yeah. I would say, not really putz around the house. More like, again, grab a cup of coffee. We have a Keurig machine. I make the coffee in the Keurig machine. I sit on the sofa. I start reading up on the stuff from the night before, some of which I've watched. It depends on the magnitude of the game and whatnot. Sometimes I watch a half. Sometimes I watch the whole thing. And then, that's it. People start waking up, take the dog out. There we go. Start the routine. But I'm generally, I'm up at this time anyway, so my energy level for the most part is pretty good. And you guys think I'm horny in the afternoon? Ha! You don't know the half of it.
Jesus. Mazz, is this interrupting your snowblowing time, though?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. This was the highlight of my day, was getting up and doing that driveway. So I'm pumped up to get home and do my driveway. That's what it is.
Jeez, it's just a world I can't comprehend.
I'm serious. I'm not joking. Not to sound like Francesa, I tell you, he's a Picasso with his snowblower machine. But I like snowblowing, and I am brilliant at it. If it were an Olympic sport, I'd be in contention for one of the 3 medals all the time.
What makes a good snowblower, Mazz?
What makes a good snowblower?
Yes.
Errands.
No. What makes you a good snowblower? Like, what makes one a good snowblower person?
Oh, tactically speaking, I'm like Belichick. I have an unbelievable game plan every time I go out there.
It's knowing the angles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For example, if you have a long, wide driveway, the question then becomes, which side do you blow the snow to? In my case, like at my father's house would be that way. No, you're laughing, Murray. My driveway.
I want this.
Yeah, my driveway is narrow enough where I can start on one side and blow all the snow to the other side, which is where the trees are. And if you go get yourself an Aaron snow thrower like the one I have, which I've owned, not this particular one, but I've owned one, same brand for 25 years, it has the power to shoot it across the entire driveway. But you have a driveway like my old man's, well, now you got to go right down the middle. Murray, you got to control the game between the hashes. Is what you have to do, and then you blow to either side, which is basically how I also clear off the hockey rink I have in the backyard, and I have a little smaller machine. Why are you laughing?
Because it's just so. Keep going. Just
okay,
keep going.
So I have a little more like portable machine that I would say is kind of a cross between a snow blower and a snow shovel that I put on the rink, and again, go right down the middle.
Oh, is that one of those like blue shovels that's got the?
It's not blue.
It's too cheap.
Yeah,
right?
but it is.
I think I know the thing you're talking about.
Yeah, it's called a single stage versus a dual stage. Single stage scoops the snow and blows it out all in one motion. The dual stage kind of takes it and then blows it out. So your two-stage snow throwers are typically your bigger machines, I think, if I got that right. But in any case, I mean, if they let me do the whole street, I'll do the whole street.
So, Mazz, you haven't had, this is like the first time you've probably brought it out in 3 years?
I used it the other day just because I was so itching to get out there. I figured for a couple of inches of dust it was worth it. But no, I did. I used it the other. You guys think I'm joking about this? Years ago, because again, I told you I wake up in the morning early. Years ago, there was a guy in town who used to do, he is a contractor, but he also does some snow blowing on the side. And they were looking for drivers in town to go out and drive the plows. And I said, dude, I'm in if you pay me.
Did he take a look at your work and he say, oh, you got it, kid?
Yeah, and then he said, well, you know what? We need guys to run snowblowing machines down at the Shaw's or the Stop and Shop early in the morning if you want to come down here. And I said, tell me the number and we'll talk. I'm not joking.
No, I know you're not.
I absolutely considered it 100%.
Murray, aren't you a homeowner now? Do you have a driveway?
HOA, baby. That is worth every penny. I don't have to deal with any of that crap. And today, so the car was covered in snow, and with the time window I gave myself, I made sure I just got just enough for me to look out the window
windshield.
Thank you. Brain's not working, and then I just went and let the air take care of it.
Murray, how was the move going?
How do you think? I mean, moving's just such a peach. But shout out DN Van Lines. They did an awesome job at least getting my crap from one place to another. But, it's going to be living around boxes for God knows how long. Moving sucks.
Oh, the worst. Either way. Okay. So we're off and running. We got, I thought the weekend of football delivered. I think it delivered big time. You call it the best weekend in sports. I thought it delivered. Stuff to talk about.
It always does.
Close games, close calls, controversies, blah, 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 like the whole thing. Great visuals. Isn't that tremendous? Watching football, in the warmth of your living room with the snow on. That visual delivers for me every time. I miss it. I don't feel like we get enough of it anymore.
That Philly game, especially, I thought, because the snow started during the game. So you started with a clean field at the beginning, and you knew it was coming, and then the field's covered by the end of it. You knew it was going to affect the play on the field, the kicking game, the whole 9 yards. I thought that game was terrific.
Outstanding. So, outstanding weekend. So we got a lot to get to. Ryan, I am on the Zoom. I don't know,
this might sound dumb, but I wonder if, how those laptops have protective coverings to cover your screen? Is it one of those?
No, and I've...
What's the issue going on?
I flicked a little switch that turns my, that covers the camera. I'm good on that.
He's in Zoom, but it's just a black screen, so we'll try to effort as best I can.
I'm watching me and Murray on YouTube right now, and it looks great.
Okay, and I'm watching you too. I can see you. You just can't see me. Dennis doesn't... wake up at this hour, does he?
You can give him a call.
Yeah. That's the best line of the morning.
What do they do? What's the thing they do when Wallach doesn't wake up?
Wake up Wallach.
Wake up, what do you do? Wake up Dennis or wake up one of the engineers? Yeah. No dice. Okay, well, listen, so it's it's what happened last night? Is that the segment?
Yep.
What happened last night comes your way right after this with Felger and Mazz filling in for Toucher and Hardy.
You're listening to Felger and Mazz early in the morning. In for Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
For the tie, the two-point conversion. Lamar takes a snap, rolls to the right, throws, complete. No!
He dropped it.
Mark Andrews hit him in the hands, and Mark Andrews dropped it as he fell into the end zone.
One of the most sure-handed players in Ravens history dropped it, hitting him right in the hands.
Did you catch a game last night?
All right, hi, everybody. Welcome back in. It's Felger and Mazz filling in for Toucher and Hardy. And we're going to do What Happened Last Night. It's brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where where your hair doesn't have to be a game. Say, one thing translates afternoon to morning, Mazz. Do you know what that is?
No, what? Tell me.
Sales staff that can't spell. Or they don't spell check, or they can't read and write. What Happened Last Night, brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where you hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened.
Moscatel never sleeps.
Where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. We'll start with Baltimore, Buffalo last night. David Andrews with that drop in the end. Okay. Mark Andrews with that drop in the end zone. That would have tied that ball game late. Start there. Oh, and we'll take your calls, folks. Listen, I forgot to tell you. Mike Reiss will join us at 7:20. Hardy, fresh off of the Crusher in Detroit on Saturday, will join us at 9. And you can join us. You can call like it's Felger and Mazz. 617-779-0985. Thoughts on Buffalo, Baltimore? Who wants to go first?
Well, so look, I think at least for the night, meaning in terms of how they played, I thought the better team won. But that drop, that play that we just played, will go down as one of the epic blunders in NFL history. Plain and simple. You don't see him that clean that often. And when I say clean, I mean the throw could have been a little higher, but the bottom line is that is a catch that every kid has made in his backyard. Why?
He dropped it.
Exactly. Wow. Squared up to the quarterback, looking right at him. Good player. Like, there are famous drops in the history of the NFL and the history of football, one of which was Jackie Smith that was the Super Bowl against Pittsburgh, right?
Famous clip from our childhood. You don't see it as much as you used to, but the Dallas Cowboy tight end dropping in the middle of the end zone and then like convulsing on the ground is like a famous NFL Films clip.
Yeah, massive. And look, there's always one from college football. If you remember, Irving Fryer had one in the national championship game. Like that, but this one to me might have been the worst one of the lot. You know, he was standing. Jackie Smith, if I remember right, was kind of sliding to the ground. Fryer was semi-covered. This is as bad a boner as it gets in a big game like that.
Last year it was the Zay Flowers fumble, and this year it's Mark Andrews dropping that 2-point conversion to tie it. The Ravens just find ways to beat themselves. And just as an aside, because Andrews is a good player, you know, I half jokingly tweeted at the end of it, he had the type of game that makes you wonder, like, he should be further investigated. He had 4 drops all last year. 2 in that game, big fumble. He looked like he was like half checked out. Weird game for him.
What a gag. I mean, I want to say poor guy, but, well, I mean,
get your head out of your ass. Yeah, you poor guy, nothing.
Feels like a solid, hard-working pro, you know. Always liked the player, but
definitely.
What the hell, man? What was up with that?
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. And look, again, I didn't think the game was all that great until Baltimore started to actually press late in the game. It felt like they were so bad, but the finish was borderline spectacular, if not spectacular. And again, not if you're a Ravens fan, but the drama in it was pretty good. In fact, the drama in both games yesterday, pretty good the way it turned out at the end. But, man, a play like that, Baltimore shooting itself in the foot all day long, you gotta catch that pass. It's plain and simple.
Murray, you annoyed that Buffalo won?
No, because look, I'd like that Buffalo thing to end up happening, but now I'm in a bit of a pickle because I hate the Kansas City Chiefs more than any other team in sports right now, so I have to be a Bills fan and go against my thing if I need the Bills to be losers. So in a perfect world, I get Buffalo, Washington in the Super Bowl. Jaden Daniels beats them. Bills still losers. I'm the most right in history about Daniels. Like that's how we can thread the needle with this thing.
That's the Murray path right there.
Yeah.
But don't you feel don't you think Buffalo's a better chance in KC than Baltimore?
Yeah.
I do. I mean, don't you feel Josh Allen is due?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really.
He's such a beast.
Unlike you, I don't really believe in that due thing. Yeah, I mean, he should be, but, I mean, I wonder who's going to win that game next week. Come on.
Maury, we're going to get to the Chiefs in a sec.
I know.
We will commence with the bitching about the refs in a little bit. We're going to save it. We're going to try and do everything other than the KC and the refs, just for a minute, if that's okay. What else stood out to you yesterday in that game, Mazz? Well, again, we'll just start with Baltimore. Does Lamar Jackson leave you wanting?
Yes. To me, that was going to be the big thing that came out of that game. One of those two quarterbacks. And look, the numbers don't really show up with Allen, but I told you, I think we mentioned it on Friday, that I have a friend of mine that said to me, well, I got to see from Allen that he can win the big one. And I sort of look at Josh Allen and say, they haven't won the big one, quote unquote, but no fault to him. His career numbers going into last night, 23 touchdowns, 4 interceptions in the playoffs. His rating was 102.3. He completed, I think, 67.5% of his passes. His play has been, with the exception of his first postseason game, his play has been terrific. He's been absolutely dynamite. And they don't win for one reason or another, coaching maybe being at the top of the list. Lamar Jackson, totally different story. Completely. Never really plays his best in these games. Some of those like that throw for the interception, the early part of that game last night. Horrendous.
Big mistake.
Yeah, the fumble. Horrendous. He just does not play well in the playoffs, and it's no surprise. He's still not what I would call a pass-first quarterback. I mean, he's improved tremendously, but their inability to make big passing plays at key times, I think, is what does them in. And, he's in the middle of that. So he wears it. And your question you asked, Murray, I do agree. Allen has a better chance in Kansas City.
Yeah, so I'll give Jackson this. Like, he owns it. He doesn't shy away from it. 3-5 playoff record, though, in the first 7 years. The only thing he can kind of hang his hat on is that was the same record for Peyton Manning, so maybe it'll turn around for him, too. But I just feel like in these games of this magnitude, something always happens. It's an air-mailed pass. That fumble was bad. That fumble he had yesterday was soft as soft gets. So there's always like a play or two that I'm like, this is why I can't trust this dude in a playoff game.
He's got to win one of these. We're getting, I think, both those guys, Allen and Lamar Jackson. And, look, they all lose to each other. So it's...
Yeah, right.
I do give them a little bit of a break. I mean, if you keep losing to Brady or Mahomes, it's like that's different than not being able to win. But still, these guys, Lamar Jackson, he's got to get one. Well, I've always said about Lamar Jackson, my little line is, I'd take him. Of course I would take Lamar Jackson. I'm not stupid. He's a brilliant player. I don't know if I'd choose him, though, he's got to win. He's got to win one of these now for me to really want him. All right, Ryan Beaton, how did it end yesterday in Philadelphia? You have that one for me?
There's the snap. Allen takes a knee, and that'll do it. The final 35 seconds will tick away. Celebrate, Bills Mafia. The Bills have won 27-25. Kansas City, here we come.
We got another Mahomes-Allen showdown next week. Last year it was in Buffalo in the divisional round. This year going back to Kansas City for the AFC Championship.
How about Philly, Ryan?
It's a shotgun snap and a 5-man rush, and Mahomes throws down the middle, caught by Kelsey, 40. Between the hash marks, he breaks a tackle, 35. Breaks another tackle, 30. He's on the near side, 15. Stiff arms his way to the 10. Comes down the near side to the 5. Tackle there. 49-yard catch and run by Travis Kelsey. Up the middle where he finds room, and a 1st and goal for the Chiefs.
I thought they said he couldn't run after he caught the ball anymore. They came with a safety blitz and Trey Smith just devoured him. And then Kelsey in the open field broke 2 tackles from 2 DBs down the field. What is it with this guy and the playoffs?
He has caught more.
Okay, that was meant for later. Murray, your thoughts on Philadelphia? L.A., Philadelphia.
I mean, it's annoying to me because I hate the Eagles more than just about anything in the world, and the Rams had a chance. I thought it was a good effort by the Rams. There was a couple of third downs. I like McVay. I really do, and I think he calls a good game. There was a couple of things, a couple of third down and shorts that they had that I couldn't. I was like, what is he doing? Like, he called a short running play, ran the guy right into the line, and credit to that Eagles defensive line, especially Jalen Carter. I think he's probably the main reason why Philly won that game. There was some play calling by McVay I found questionable in that. I thought Puka Nacua, other than the big catch late, was absolutely terrible, maybe the worst game I've ever seen him play. I was just frustrated. Like, the Rams had a chance, and other than a couple of big runs by Saquon, I thought the Eagles were... They were able to get picked off yesterday because the quarterback got hurt. I think he's been limited. He's been a passenger, and I don't think he's been right ever since the concussion and coming back from that thing. It was frustrating. The Rams had a chance there, and I hate the Eagles, and I hated to see him win.
Mazz.
Game never should have been close. Never. Philly's a superior team, and listen, I love the Rams' grit. Okay, I do, and I was rooting for the Rams in a lot of ways because not just because of the whole L.A. story.
But to your point, like that game was over with 4 minutes to go, and then all of a sudden the Rams had a chance. Like the Eagles almost peed it away.
Yeah, I like the way the Rams play. I do. I like that they looked. They were ready to go in the game before. Who the hell did they play in that game? Now all my games are running together. The first round game, the Rams beat whoever it was.
They beat in Arizona. They beat Tampa.
No.
Tampa played at home.
Minnesota.
It was Minnesota. So, but I like the way they played in that game because I think there is sort of a, I always think of the West Coast teams as being a little softer. The Rams play indoors, and when you watch them, they played tough against Minnesota. They played tough yesterday. They hung in there. There's a lot to like about them. But holy crap, you're down 2 touchdowns with 4 minutes to go. Then the Eagles miss an extra point. They had missed one earlier in the game. They gave up a safety. The Rams go right down the field and score in like no time at all. Then they get the ball back and go right down the field again. If Philly had blown that game, that would have been one of the great collapses in NFL history to blow a game like that. So Philly left the door open. The Rams almost burst through it. Ultimately didn't have quite enough to get it done. But to me, I think that game exposed Philadelphia. I give the Commanders a total chance in that game. 100% in the NFC Championship.
L.A. Disappointed me a little bit. I mean, the grit you're talking about, like, I give it to them. And I think they're overall just a really well-coached team. But I did, Murray, I'm with you, some of the play calling on the L.A. side with the weather, I don't feel like McVay did enough to get guys open early or quick. I felt that Stafford was holding the ball or going too deep down the field in those conditions. I'm like, you can't dial up some stuff here, short stuff, more easy, get the ball out of his hands. And I thought it was a play calling thing. And then, Nacua was invisible, like I've never really seen. He had that great catch along the sidelines late, which was like a contested sort of jump balls, like he got open. And I was wondering, where Nacua and Kupp do such a great job of getting open and getting schemed open. And I think sort of McVay lost the string there a little bit somehow.
Well, they were also talking in the broadcast. It felt to me like Nacua was affected by the elements. Like he wasn't running really good routes. Like there was a couple things I'm like, I've never seen this from this guy before. I feel like he's maybe one of the most trustworthy wide receivers in the NFL, but definitely not yesterday.
Me too. So that's that. Ryan, if I call for a Lions play-by-play, do we got it?
Oh, no.
Now we got a penalty flag.
What are they doing?
12 players on defense. With the offense in formation and the snap imminent. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. The yardage is enough for a first down.
Wow, you called it for 10 seconds,
I'm
Tom.
seeing him run out there. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
So if you're Hardy and Fred this weekend, and you're thinking back over that game, where do you start? Do you start with the 12 men? Do you start with the The defense? Do you start with the interception on the flea flicker? Where do you start?
I mean, I do. I mean, there was a bunch of big moments in that game, and Goff was terrible, but I thought that was the biggest moment. Fourth quarter, 4th and 2. Washington was at 4th and 2, Lions 5. The Lions line up with 12 players on defense. First down, penalty. Washington scores a touchdown. It's basically game over. That's the one. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, the trick play to me is, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? You've got all these weapons, and the pass that you decide to throw is out of the hands of Jameson Williams. That was atrocious. That was too smart, too cute for your own good. That was totally overthinking it. Now, look, at the end of the day, they gave up 45 points. You're not going to win if you give up 45. But it was going to be that kind of game. To me, that was the easiest bet of the weekend, was the over in that game, because the Lions' defense was banged up and Washington was going to score some, and I just thought the Lions would outscore them. So, but you give up 45, you're going to lose.
Ryan, what did the trick play interception sound like in Detroit?
First down and 10 from the 46. They fake the toss, flip it to St. Brown, now to Williams, who wants to throw down the right sideline, and the pass is intercepted. It's picked off by Mike Sainristil at the 34-yard line. He wanted to throw it to Gibbs, and it's intercepted. So Jameson Williams throws the 4th turnover of the night, the 3rd interception thrown by the Lions. And with 12:04 to go, Detroit is in a world of hurt at home.
And gadget plays are cool. And Dan Campbell does as good a job as anybody in the league. Jameson Williams is the 6th player on the Lions this year to throw a pass. Okay? And that was ill-advised. It never should have been thrown. And again, what did we talk about in their open? Major turnover differential. That's how Washington can win a game.
Williams shouldn't have thrown the ball.
Oh, it was horrible.
I mean,
the timing of calling that play, though, was also horrible. I'm with Mazz on this. That game alone was enough for me to feel good in the Patriots taking Mike Vrabel and not having any interest in Ben Johnson. Like, that's the type of, but both those coordinators, he and Aaron Glenn with the 12 men on the field, and I know they're dealing with a lot of injuries there, but they couldn't stop a nosebleed in that game. But he kept doing cutesy crap, took the ball out of Jahmyr Gibbs' hands, who was a stud, and kept putting it in Jared Goff's. Like, ugh, Ben Johnson had a bad night Saturday.
Okay. We're just holding off on you people and the refs in Kansas City. So we're going over all the other games. Is there anything else to get to before we get to Kansas City? Anything?
Oh, yeah. I mean, how about the greatest rookie quarterback who's ever lived?
How did we leave this out?
Yeah, I mean, maybe the most important thing of all from that game. I mean, we can laugh at the Lions, and rightfully so, because they remain, one of the great losers in all of sports. But, I mean, how about, giving...
Can I read Murray's email?
Yeah, please.
Well, I mean, I can show it here for the YouTube audience. See that? See what that is? Ha 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 ha. No, Aaron Glenn. Blitz Jaden Daniels again. Maybe this time he'll mess up. Ha 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 ha. Says the email. Ice, period, in, period, his, period, veins, period. I'll say this, though. It was really crazy to see that outside of that embarrassing 4th down play they tried to run through Marcus Mariota. Washington never effed up on either side of the ball. That might have surprised me more than anything. Anyway, nice to see Jared Goff turn back into a pumpkin. Enough of that stupid resurgence. Go away. You made your one token Super Bowl, and you'll never be back. You loser. Also, that game alone, okay, and then you get into the coordinator stuff. But Jaden, more justification, more, what am I trying to say? Affirmation on Jaden Daniels there. Vindication, Murray, for you?
Yeah, Chad Ryland. He's the reverse Mo Lewis. He cost you the greatest rookie quarterback who's ever lived in the NFL, who has a real chance to go to the Super Bowl and win it. He was in control. He was calm. He took care of the ball, didn't turn it over. He kept handling the pressure and the blitz and the noise. He made good decisions. He threw the ball with precision. He threw it away when he needed to. He ran when it was there. That was the other thing. So and this is one of the, I think, questions you had about him, Mike, and why, he's slender. He's going to try to run too much. That was Mahomesian, the way he ran that ball in that game. He took it when he needed it. He's a stud. And it's just, you tweet about him. You'll see May's greater than May. You hope. All you got with May is hope. You're a one-win quarterback with the big arm. who's failed at his opportunities to come back and win games. You hope. I hope. I really do. But he ain't Jaden Daniels. May is hope. Daniels special. Fact. That's all.
Real quick, Joe in the car for Big Jim Murray. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, can we put a muzzle on him? I'm really enjoying this morning show, but you're normally miserable. You are taking the cake today and ruining this show. So, Felger, let's institute some power here. Muzzle this kid.
No.
Oh, no, I'm more than happy to talk about Jaden Daniels, who's already been proven to be better than Drake May and will be better than Drake May for their duration of both of their careers. That's all. I'm not miserable. You want to keep talking Jaden Daniels? I'll do that until 10 a.m. No misery here, pal. I have finally woken up 41 minutes into the show. Enjoy your hell commute out there in that snow today, because I can tell you we're driving. Jaden Daniels, better than Drake May will ever be.
I do think Murray is perking up, Mazz.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely getting there. No question. I can see it in his eyes.
The first 2 minutes were grim. That was tough. But Murray's coming around. And now let's get to Kansas City and the refs.
Yeah.
Shall we? First, we'll take a break.
Criminals.
Back with Felger and Mazz filling in, and Murray filling in for Toucher and Hardy.
Got yourself a double dip of Bruins and Celtics for a MLK Day matinee today. Starting with the Bruins, coming off Saturday's overtime loss to the Ottawa Senators. They are home at TD Garden against the San Jose Sharks. Puck drop is at 1. The pregame at 12:30. Ryan Johnston, Bob Beers with your call right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. And you can keep it here on the Sports Hub. The Celtics, they're on the road against the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green has been ruled out for Golden State with a calf injury. Tip-off is at 5. Grandy and Max with the call. And championship weekend is set in the NFL after this weekend's divisional action. In the NFC, rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels, better than Drake May, in Washington, who will play at Philadelphia in the undercard next Sunday. And then it's the main event, the AFC Championship game, the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, the rights to play in Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. Headlines are brought to you by the Best Ford in Nashua. If you're looking for great deals on new Fords, go to the Best First. Best Ford in Nashua. Head to thebestfordofnashua.com. I'm Jim Murray, Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm going to check headlines in 30 minutes.
In for Toucher and Hardy this morning. Big Jim Murray alongside as well. Little Miss Sunshine himself, Big Jim Murray. Kansas City, Houston, your thoughts?
I mean, good for Aikman. His eyes work. He's sick of watching this crap. And look, the Chiefs are a better team. Houston deserved to lose. Their kicker sucks. That might have been one of the worst field goal attempts I've ever seen. Kayemi Fairbairn, the one that went, like me off the tee box. So special teams mistakes. They don't have enough offensive firepower, blah, blah, blah. But they don't need to get, the 12th man on them, too, i.e. the refs. If you deny this at this point or try to chalk this up to baby Patriots fans, you're just being disingenuous. When you have the guy who's calling the game, Troy Aikman, rightfully say in disgust, oh, come on. It's not just a baby Patriots fan thing. They're getting help. And Patrick Mahomes is shameless. The flop? I know, let's bring European soccer into the NFL and further water down the product. That's good. We need to bring back shame in this country, starting with Patrick Mahomes and his flopping nonsense.
Anthony?
So, I don't understand what the problem is because I do think it's baby Patriots fans, Murray.
You're crazy. Sorry. You're crazy.
Okay, and when I say I think it's baby Patriots fans, yes, Mahomes is protected. Yes. So is Brady.
Not to this extent.
Hold on. So is Peyton Manning. So is every star quarterback that's ever played in the NFL. You want to know who should have a beef with the Patrick Mahomes treatment more than anybody? Cam Newton and people like Cam Newton. I say people like Cam Newton. Cam Newton used to get killed and didn't get flags.
Did you see the shot or the tackle that Lamar Jackson took last night in one of the benches running down the sidelines?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was tackled 3 yards out of bounds. No flag. Go ahead. Proceed.
So to me, those are the ones that those guys, I think, have a right to be irritated. And again, I say Cam Newton because Cam Newton got hit harder than any quarterback I've ever seen. And he went through one stretch in his career there where he should have been getting flags and he wasn't because he's so freaking damn big and tough, they don't call them. I think sometimes a million players flopped. There were other players who flopped yesterday, and I don't blame you for ripping Mahomes for flopping. I don't like that either. You don't have to dress it up, but good quarterbacks are protected in the NFL. They all are. It seems worse to you because it's Mahomes, and it comes up on a day where Kansas City advanced to another AFC title game. And Murray, I'm not blaming you. I'm just telling you how I perceive it.
No, I get it. But it's more blatant than ever. And that thing on Saturday was just, it made me want to puke in my mouth or not watch if it's going to be like this. Mahomes is a good enough player as it is. He's maybe the second best quarterback or third of all time. He makes ridiculous plays, but he flops. He baits defenders into bad penalties or weak penalties. And the NFL and the officials go over the top of protecting him. Fact, they do. It's not just a baby Patriots fan. That thing Saturday, when you have former players, TJ Houshmandzadeh, saying, why play the game if every 50-50 call goes with the Chiefs? These officials are trash and biased. And then guys like Aikman, who played the position and is disgusted with what he's watching. It's not just baby Patriots fans looking at this I hate the Chiefs. It's out of control. That thing Saturday was out of control.
Okay. It should be beneath Mahomes. It's disappointing to me. The flop along the sidelines is the one that I'm really talking about.
Definitely.
Okay, that cheapens. He's such a brilliant player and an all-time player and a legit guy. And when he does that, it opens the door for baby Patriots fans to take something away from him. And that should be beneath him. It really should. And that's on him. It's trash. It's garbage. Okay? And he should be above it. He really should. That sort of stuff should be beneath someone of that caliber. And the league absolutely needs to do something about the running quarterback thing. And I don't blame the refs like you guys do. The league wants them to throw the flags when the quarterbacks get hit. And it is true, Mahomes gets more flags than other quarterbacks, just like any NBA player does. I just don't blame the refs. I blame what the sport wants the refs to do. And what the sport, to me, the whole running quarterback thing is gone too far. I know this is a silly analogy, but it's just when you play touch football at the park with your friends, the quarterback that takes off after 5 Mississippi, you know what I mean? It's annoying. It's like, I'm not here to have you run around. We're not running. I don't want to run. Well, it's gone too far. The quarterbacks are allowed too much leeway when they take off. When they pass the line of scrimmage, these guys are runners. They're getting bigger and stronger, and so Aikman's right. The league absolutely has to look at how those quarterbacks are hit. So, okay, those are the first two things. Mahomes flopping beneath him, that's on him. 2, the league should do something about it. I don't want to hear it from you people. That's where I break. I don't want to hear it from you because you're not coming from the right. You're not coming from a neutral place. You're not. You're protective of Brady. You're protective of your team, which I get. But I can't hear it from you. I don't take you seriously. So you're right, Murray. It's not just baby Patriots fans, but we are the one that talk to baby Patriots fans, and I don't want to hear it because your guy got the same treatment. Your guy got rules written for him. It was the same deal. And I didn't hear the outrage then, so I don't need to hear it now. But I'll take it. Go ahead, 617-779-0985. What you're saying is true to a point. I just don't want to hear it from you, Murray.
I think you should have to hear it. Be forced to.
Is Patrick Mahomes somehow not worthy?
No, again, he's a transcendent quarterback, second best of all time. But I now hate him. I hate him. And so as I put in the email, so here's the fix. You need to see a rule change for flopping, 15-yard unsportsmanlike next time he pulls this crap. Or here's the thing going forward. You, Chiefs fans, others, pulling for him spitefully to laugh at baby Patriots fans, whatever. You can't get mad when a defensive player has had enough and takes matters into his own hands and has some vigilante justice on him. Oh, you're going to flag me anyway? Then I'm going to take him out. You don't get to be mad. So pick it. They're either going to have to quickly implement a rule before the Super Bowl, going into the championship game next week against Buffalo, or the Super Bowl when they play the Eagles, because that's what it's going to be. Get used to it. It's going to be awful again. It's a 15-yard penalty, unsportsmanlike on Mahomes when he flops, because he's going to try to do that. Or you don't get to be mad at vigilante justice. Either do it right, or, again, just deal with the repercussions.
I will say, Aikman's reaction in real time, you don't hear very often nowadays. They don't want the announcers doing it.
Him and Buck are better than ever, by the way. I think they're the best. Well, they're great.
I think Aikman is just the right amount of. I mean, he could be more as far as I'm concerned. You can never be too negative or critical for me, but he's got enough of it, and he's got a little bit of a misery quotient, or a little bit of on the play we just played, Ryan. I don't know if you heard it, but when the flag came out, you could actually hear Aikman go, "Oh, come on!"
Yeah,
like a real sort of visceral fan reaction, like
defense number 39.
Oh, come on.
Great.
Like, you don't hear that very often. That sort of genuine, frustrated fan sort of reaction. So I see it. I feel it. I get it. We all get it. You don't got a leg to stand on out there. You don't. But go ahead. You can stand on it. And we can do some standard, generic Felger and Mazz fan agitating.
You were going to say bashing, weren't you?
Trolling? No, and you know what you know.
Yeah, you were.
I know what you kids call it. But we can do that thing. Well, we're going to try and keep it lighter because this is Toucher and Hardy, and we're going to do the full Felger and Mazz thing.
Yeah, we'll call it the Mike from Woburn segment.
Maybe just a little taste. We got Mike Reiss coming up at 7:20. We will be shooting the breeze later in the show. Hardy will be joining us at 9 o'clock. Give us his thoughts on what happened in Detroit over the weekend. He and Fred were at that Lions game. It's Felger and Mazz on Toucher and Hardy. Your calls off the top of the hour. Don't go anywhere.
Defense number 39.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Tip off every Celtics game all season long with great tasting, less filling Miller Lite, the original light beer. Miller Lite, a
action in the NFC. It'll be rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels and Washington. They will play the Philadelphia Eagles in the undercard in the NFC Championship game next Sunday. And then it's the main event, the AFC Championship game, Buffalo Bills at Kansas City Chiefs for the rights to play in Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. College football national championship game takes place tonight, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. 14-1 Notre Dame takes on 13-2 Ohio State. Buckeyes come into the game 8.5-point favorites. Kickoff a little after 7:30. Double-dip Bruins and Celtics for an MLK Day matinee. Bruins coming off Saturday's OT loss to Ottawa, home against the San Jose Sharks with puck drop at 1. Ryan Johnston, Bob Beers with a call here on 98.5 a Sports Hub. Then you get the Celtics on the road against the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green ruled out with a calf injury for Golden State. Tip-offs at 5. Grandy and Max with the call, also here on 98.5 a Sports Hub. And according to NBA insider Mark Stein, the Milwaukee Bucks reportedly among the teams who have looked into acquiring the Miami Heat's Jimmy Butler. Headlines brought to you by Rodenheiser Home Services and their expert remodel team. Schedule a free consultation today to redefine your space. Rodenheiser.com/remodel. Rodenheiser Home Services. Nice people, great service since 1928. I'm Jim Murray for Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 a Sports Hub. Now to check the headlines. 30 minutes.
Some people play the game.
Blocked by Horford.
Some talk about
Let's welcome to the Sports Hub Celtics show, by the way. Jim Murray, Chris Gasper.
The Sports Hub Celtics show with Murray and Gasper. Saturdays at noon on the Sports Hub. It's Mike Felger, Tony Maserati, and Mr. Mornings, Jim Murray. Murray. Can somebody give him a slap? There you go. 98.5 the Sports Hub.
Mahomes protected in the pass too high for Kelsey, but a flag is down where Mahomes went down, and Will Anderson Jr. was there for Houston.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 1. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So they get a stop, but then Anderson, who was celebrating after getting to Mahomes to force that incompletion, is guilty of a hit to the head of Patrick.
Yeah, they run a twist up front. He has a clear shot, and there's the hit. It looked like it was helmet to helmet in real time, and it's close. He definitely comes in high. Hard to tell from that angle as to what, if it was in fact helmet to helmet, but that was the call and gives him a new set of downs.
Russell Yerk is with us.
Troy and Joe, I agree. Based on what you saw, it looked like he did come up high with the helmet, but it looked like that first contact was to the upper chest area. I didn't see anything there that supported a foul.
That was the big talker coming out of NFL Divisional Weekend. Good morning, everybody. Felger and Mazz with Big Jim Murray filling in for Fred and Rob Hardy-Poole as they come off of their Detroit weekend. We'll be talking to Hardy coming up at 9 o'clock. We'll be talking to Mike Reiss coming up in about 20 minutes. And it's a Felger Mazz takeover. We got Mazz and Murray in our Town Fair Tire studios. I am remote this morning. I promised some calls, so let's get right to it, shall we?
Yes.
Nick in Westport. Hi, Nick.
Hey, guys. What's up? Usually call you guys during the midday, but now it's, during the normal day. But I moved recently, but just to get that out of the way, I called in because I wanted to ask Murray. I'm a Brady Bobo who is rooting for the Chiefs. I want them to win because I want to see the 3-peat. I never thought I'd see something like that, and he's already the second greatest in my opinion. But if he wins this, if it happens, where does Murray feel he's going to rank, and how does he feel about the bone job yesterday? Because that was ridiculous.
Okay, we've been over the bone job.
Where would he? He's second all time, and he'll always be second all time, no matter what happens.
He'll always be second all time. I'm sorry that I just needed a second for that to resonate. What if his resume surpasses that of Tom Brady?
I will not recognize it.
Come on, Murray. Why not?
Because I won't. Because Brady's the greatest I've ever seen do it, and the game has changed enough that Mahomes has benefited from some shady officiating. So no, he will always be number 2 in my mind, both literally and figuratively.
Come on, Murray.
No, I'm not coming on. Brady number 1. The rest of you can go F yourselves.
Mazz, your thoughts?
I find this exercise like exhausting. I do, and I don't mean necessarily Murray because I like Murray and I know Murray, but the whole bitching about the officiating with Mahomes. And look, you know, like many people, I'm on a text chain with a bunch of buddies that I went to high school with, all of whom I love, and it immediately deteriorates into, oh, look at Mahomes, look at the officiating. It's like, would you guys stop? What did the officiating have to do with the play when Mahomes stepped up, is falling to the ground, and throws a touchdown pass to Travis Kelce in the end zone? What does the officiating have to do with that? And so and the other thing is the guy's great. Okay, the team is great. The guy's great. I don't know if he's going to pass Brady or not. And if you wanted my honest opinion, I doubt it. 7's a crap ton of Super Bowls. Mahomes isn't even halfway there yet. But, to talk about the guy's winning quotient and his talent, if you can't acknowledge that, then you don't deserve a seat at the table. To me, that is, now we can discuss him versus Montana, because say what you want, Montana won all 4 of his. Mahomes is 3-1. So is Mahomes more talented than either Brady or Montana? Yes, but at the end of the day, you got to win. So right now, I still put Brady first, Montana second. But, give it another couple of years. Give it a couple of weeks.
No, Mahomes is a worthy guy. He's the only guy that's worth Montana, but the only current guy worth talking about in the same breath as Brady. He opens up the door though by the embellishing, the baiting for the penalty, like in the field, like the second one that had Aikman saying, "Oh, come on," where he's dancing in the middle of the field and setting up the defenders. I don't like that either, but there's a craftiness to it. He's going for a competitive edge, which I think you people can sort of appreciate. Please. But the thing on the sideline, come on.
Defense number 39.
Come on. The one on the sideline, I'm like, you should be better than that. You should be above that. You're an all-time player, an all-time winner, on your way to being an all-time guy. You shouldn't be doing that. And I agree. I would love to see the refs throw the flag, and anyone in any sport. Embellishing. Would love to see it. Matt in Rhode Island. Go ahead, Matt. What do you got?
Hey, what's up, guys? Mari, you've been on this from the draft, so you're correct on Daniels. Through 19 games, it's pretty impressive in his rookie year. But just a couple things to consider. He's 2 years older than May. He's got Kingsbury, and he's got a couple weapons. So I'm not disagreeing with you, but let's hold judgment on May for a second. Thanks.
Murray, do you want to hold judgment on Jaden Daniels?
No, come on. He's already the 5th best quarterback in the NFL, and I'm not saying that to troll. I think that's a fact. It's Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Burrow, Daniels. Who else are you going to put 5th right now?
I haven't really thought about it.
There you go. There's your top 5 quarterbacks. Greatest rookie. Look, he may come back down to earth. There can be the sophomore slump. But in terms of a rookie season, name one better. Maybe Marino?
This kid's up there. There's no question he's up there. I thought the caller said reserve judgment on May.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and I would reserve judgment on May. It's too early. Daniels can play. And to me, Mike, the thing that's most stunning about him...
Did you know how offensive it is to some Patriots fans and media when you say you're reserving judgment on May? What do you mean he's not the guy? What do you want to see? What was he given last? You can't even...
Yeah.
May...
And when you ask...
has already gone from 0 to untouchable in 30 seconds. Go ahead.
And when you ask someone like that to say, okay, well, based on what? And they'll say something like, well, you just got to trust me, bro. I get it. You watch the intangibles with May, he's got all the tools, but I don't know. Does he have that, it thing that I think you already see with Daniels? He's so unflappable against the blitz. And it wasn't just this thing Saturday. If you watch, they've had some primetime games late that they flexed in. He's not shaken by the blitz. Keep blitzing him. His numbers are ridiculous against it. He wants it. That's the type of stuff you only see from the best of the best.
Oh, yeah. No, he's legit.
Stephen, Rhode Island. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys. Matt kind of stole my thunder a little bit, but this question's for Big Jim. Do you honestly think Daniels would have had the same season if he had been on the 2024 Patriots with what he was surrounded by?
No, I think he would have got you a few more wins. Look, they have a better offensive line in Washington, and it helps to have a stud like Terry McLaurin, and it helps to have Cliff Kingsbury as a coach. But Zach Ertz, Hunter Henry, same guy, and the rest of the stiffs he's throwing to, Diami Brown, Olamide Zacchaeus, they're no different than hacks like Kendrick Bourne or Pop Douglas. Again, he has the intangible it thing that's undeniable. You saw it when we went from that stiff Bledsoe to Brady. You saw it, you're like, oh, that's a little bit different. What is this? This is making me hot. And you're seeing it now with Washington and Daniels. So would he be as good, 12 wins, conference championship with this Patriots team? No, but you'd have a few more wins.
Stanley and Taunton. Go ahead, Stanley.
Yes, good morning, Felger. Happy MLK Day. So I wanted to add to this commentary about the flag thing. So the gentleman, Gasper, right? The one with the goatee? I used to watch you guys on TV. I'm trying to decipher who's who.
It doesn't matter. Just go ahead.
But anyway, dude, I agree with your co-host here, because if you look back on the schedule in the first half of the season, this Chiefs team should have been like a wild card team at best, because you had the Atlanta game, you had the Cincinnati game.
Stanley, you think the refs are
preach, Stanley?
You think the refs are giving them these games?
Yeah, come on, man, it's too obvious for us. Someone who used to play football too. Even when I chat with Christian Wilkins from time to time, he's like, "Yeah, man, the game has changed. Yeah, sometimes they be calling these BS calls." I'm like, "Yes, I know, Chris. I watch it too sometimes, bro."
Stanley,
but hey, good
why?
luck on your season.
Why do you think?
What do you mean,
Why does the league want KC to win?
Money. Everything has to do with money.
No, but why them?
Patrick Mahomes is the golden boy, bro. You cannot lie about it. Patrick Mahomes is the golden boy. He's the face of the NFL. He's literally the LeBron James of the NFL. We can all agree on that. Yes, sir.
Yeah. But there's you don't think Josh Allen's a bankable star? Or Joe Burrow would be a bankable star?
Or Brady?
Or, why is Patrick Mahomes more of a bankable star than anyone else? He's not that interesting of a guy. He's not very charismatic. He's not why? Why, Murray, why are they rigging it for the Chiefs?
Well, for more airtime for the most marketable human being on planet Earth. Right, money. He's throwing to tight end Travis Kelce. Kelce dating Taylor Swift. More airtime for Swift. More eyes from those that normally wouldn't watch the game.
Why does
Say it again, caller.
So he didn't get the calls before Taylor Swift?
Say again?
He didn't get the calls before Taylor Swift?
Not like this.
Oh, my God. You guys are pathetic.
So you're saying if you added up all the camera time for Taylor Swift, who, by the way, I thought this was a fake relationship, guys, by the way.
I never said that.
Oh, you totally did. You all did.
No, I didn't. I was with you on this.
You all did.
Oh.
Stay on topic.
You all did. Oh, stop it. I thought this was fake. Sometimes, people, listen, sometimes what it is just what it is. Sometimes a pop star wants to date a football player, and they're actually dating. And sometimes the best teams and the best quarterbacks just win. Sometimes. But now, this is Mazz, they've all wrapped it up into one thing now. It's like, I hear this from, I feel like it's almost become political too. It's like they want the Chiefs to win because they and Taylor Swift, there's a they. There's maybe a deep state kind of thing or the political thing. I can't really quite put my finger on it, but there's this they. They want Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and the Chiefs to win with Taylor Swift because they are in charge of everything. And this is what's going on now. It's not just that Patrick Mahomes is just about the greatest of all time, and Travis Kelce is a really clutch, winning football player. And it's not just that Taylor Swift likes men, and she likes the big, hunky tight end that keeps winning in Kansas City, and so they're dating, and they're still dating. It just can't be those things, right? It's got to be they are rigging it and fixing it so they win, he gets set up, she gets put on TV. It's stupid is what it is, Miss.
No, the whole world is rigged, don't you know? It's kind of pathetic, actually. Just separate yourself from it a little bit. I find it exhausting. I'm sorry, I do. I find it exhausting if you're that petty that you can't appreciate the greatness of Mahomes and the fact that he's being treated like any other superstar player. The caller who said he's the LeBron James of the NFL, Brady was the Jordan. Okay? Brady was in 10 Super Bowls. America was so sick of Brady, and I didn't hear people here bitching about it then.
Murray, final thoughts.
I hate him, and hopefully the Bills will end our national nightmare next week. Go Bills.
Mike
You know you make me want to shout. Go Bills.
Mike Reiss joins us next. Don't go anywhere.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
talked to you guys early this week. And I was just saying, like, man, like, we got to go out there and we got to do us better. And, you know, in some instances we didn't do that, some instances we did. So we just got to keep going, man. Next offseason, you know, get the guys together, man. And, you know, everybody just coming together and just keep building that team chemistry and get past this hump.
Houston Texans, we knew it was going to be us versus the refs. That's the way most people feel. Let's go to the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Getting up with us this morning, Felger and Mazz filling in for Toucher and Hardy. Mike Reiss from ESPN. Michael, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Mike, Tony, Jim. Have they opened the bathrooms yet? That's what I want to know. And how are you guys dealing with that?
I was finally able to get in. Yeah, the key card wasn't working, Mike, but we potentially had a real problem there.
Mike, thanks for taking the time this morning. We really do appreciate it.
Absolutely. I've been doing it with the guys 7:20 every Monday. It's been great. And then Tuesdays with Zoe and Beetle at 11. So it's been a great setup. I love being with the station.
When you get started, like, how much grab ass do you do here before they ask you a football question? Is there like what's the appropriate level of chit chat before we start talking football?
We can get right into it.
Are you with Patriots fans? Are you frustrated watching the Kansas City Chiefs getting flags and Patrick Mahomes getting flags? How do you view that?
Not so much, Mike. I think I'm with you guys. I've been listening. I think the second one was the one where I'm like, come on. And then comparing it to Lamar in the Ravens-Bills game, and I thought he got hauled down out of bounds, and there was no call. I don't know if you guys thought those were – I mean, they were different in the sense that, you know, the intent of Mahomes seemed like he was, you know, I'm with you. So I was a little frustrated at the call, but I thought, to me, the Chiefs were going to beat the Texans anyway.
Do you view it as Mahomes just getting what Brady got, or is it somehow worse?
I view it like that, Mike. I think it's similar to the Brady stuff. In fact, I had that thought. I said, geez, this must be what the rest of the country thought when we were in the golden era of Brady and the Patriots.
Yeah, be careful, Mike. You know, the Patriots fans are going to turn on you. They'll be very disappointed in you, Mike.
Hey, Tony, that's sort of the way I view it. I mean, I got to tell you my honest opinion, right?
When you watch the weekend games, Michael, how do you, and you put in a Patriots context, what do you think? Do you think, how far away the Patriots are? Do you feel the league's gone in a certain way where they have to build themselves a certain way to compete with the teams that we're seeing this weekend? How do you put it all in a Patriots context?
So I start with the Bills just because that's the team they have to beat, you know, and I've always thought, Mike, like if the Bills finally get one, that's going to make it even harder. And then I look at it from the Jaden Daniels standpoint where, you know, you see how he's elevated Washington. And I do agree with Jim where he said, like, I think Jaden's a cut above Drake, but can Drake ultimately become that? Those are sort of my two Patriot-specific takeaways from the weekend.
Going into the draft, did you have a Mike Reiss big board? Did you have Jaden Daniels ahead of Drake May?
I did. And I think if the Patriots were, if they had that choice, I think it would have been Jaden.
Yeah, I remember you saying this on with Zoe and Beetle, and I was like, all right. See, they knew too.
Yeah.
So that's how the Pats had their board stacked as well.
I don't know that, Mike, but that was what my sense was coming out of it. No one ever really told me that, but I think the thing on Jaden Daniels was like I had the Joe Burrow comps, you know, that people thought they told me be careful. He's not just a runner; he's actually a great processor, and as long as the body armor holds up, that's sort of the scouting term, he's going to be just fine. So, and I think the experience, more than double the starts of Drake, was a decided advantage to him.
Mike, is there anyone on these four remaining coaching staffs or maybe from some teams this past weekend that lost, like the Rams, that Mike Vrabel and the Patriots might look to poach from?
I think so. Actually, I'm glad you mentioned it, Jim, because, Mike, that was another takeaway I had from the weekend. I actually think the results of the games might help the Patriots from a standpoint of getting their staff together quicker, because the Lions defensive line coach and run game coordinator Terrell Williams, I think, is going to be in the conversation for defensive coordinator here in New England. So the fact that the Lions were upset makes him available now. And then with the Rams, I don't know this, but there's some connections between the organizations that I think could make some of their staff, even like Ernie Adams type guy that was Vrabel's guy in Tennessee. He would be available potentially to come, and maybe even some of their offensive coaches. If that's the blind spot for me, guys, is what is Vrabel thinking offensive coordinator wise? That's the one spot that's been tough to drill down on for me.
Right. So I was just going to ask you that. So do you think if it were up to Vrabel, I mean, I guess this is the question that I ask, because people have always, linked Josh McDaniels here. Is that because Josh McDaniels is a Mike Vrabel guy, or because Josh Daniels is a Robert Kraft guy?
So I think it's because McDaniels is a Patriots guy and he still lives here, and if it all fits and he's done it before, it would work. But I actually think he's never coached with Mike Vrabel, and I think that's significant. The relationship between a coach and a player is different than a coach and a coach. So that's my thought on that, and I think Josh is going to be part of the mix. I think Mike said that publicly, but I haven't sensed that he would be Mike's top choice right now, but that might change as the process takes shape.
So, Mike, do you have a big board as it pertains to the OC? Do you look at a group of 3 guys or something and say, I think it's going to be from this group?
Tony, this is the hardest thing because I don't know. I think it could go in a number of different directions. We know of 2 people that they've either talked to or requested to talk to: Thomas Brown, the passing coordinator of the Bears, and Marcus Brady, passing game coordinator of the Chargers. And I don't sense that either of those would be up at the top of the list. To be frank, I think part of that could be tied to compliance with league rules. So take those 2 off to the side there, and they're part of the conversation because we know that that's been reported. I look at it and say, what did Vrabel do in the past? When he went to Tennessee, he was looking at Ryan Day as his offensive coordinator. Day ultimately stayed at Ohio State. So that was his initial thought. But then he ended up going with Matt LaFleur from the Rams under McVay. So does he consider the same type of approach with Mike LaFleur, the Rams offensive coordinator, or the Rams quarterbacks coach, Dave Ragone, who was an offensive coordinator under Arthur Smith? So it starts to get into all these connections, but I don't have any firm reporting on what Mike is specifically thinking in which direction he wants to go.
Again, Mike Reiss joining us here from ESPN. So do you think, given his, again, so you mentioned the hires there in Tennessee, they were West Coast guys. They weren't the old they weren't the old Patriots offense. It was the West Coast, and Alex Van Pelt runs a version of the West Coast. So I think this is going to be an interesting thing. It's going to, I think, be a tell, Mike, a little bit about just how much control Vrabel has, which has started. Did you get the sense inside the walls at Gillette that Mike has already started to carve out some power? The Robin Glazier news, which you reported on at the end of last week, as a part of that whole thing.
I do, Mike, and I think people that have been in there have noted that. I think a new strength coach. Already maybe, around the area. So people have noticed some new faces coming in there that are specifically tied to Mike. And I do think that how much power and control he has, I think it is significant, Mike, to come in there and shape this in his image.
Can we just spend a second on Robin Glazier? Because it's
sure.
No one knows, on the outside, no one knows who she is or what she does or what she did, but she's become like the boogeyman. She's become like this dog whistle, if you will, sort of a sign of ownership interference and meddling and over-aggressive. I don't know exactly how to put this, but it started with those Seth Wickersham stories late last year, where Bill and the football people feared John Kraft and Robin Glazier would be taking over football decisions. And then when Bill gets fired, and this spring, he and Lombardi keep mentioning Robin Glazier, like the big bad Robin Glazier. No one has any idea what she even did. And now she's out. So Mike, what did she do, and why are the football people so bent out of shape about Robin Glazer?
All right, so hopefully I can make a complex thing simple here. Basically, if I had to boil it down, one of the main things Robin Glazer did was handle all the league business and relations with the league, including compliance. So, Mike, there's so many rules that you have to follow. And she was in charge of making sure the Patriots did that. And so I think just by nature of that position, you have team business and you have league business. And you have to make sure what the team and Bill Belichick football might be thinking, we're doing this. And then you have this gatekeeper that says, okay, if we do this, we just have to make sure that we're following the league rules. So by nature, there is a little bit of conflict, friction between those roles. Does that make sense, Bill and Lombardi? Mike?
Yeah, but okay, how come Lombardi and Bill have, really made her the bad guy? Really make sure. Exactly. Every time Bill's asked about it, John and Robin Glazer, like, why is he doing that?
I don't know. Maybe it's about control, and if you feel like you're losing some control based on that dynamic, I honestly don't know.
So so she was kind of like OSHA, right? Like, no, really.
So if she's just that,
policing the police,
yeah, right.
She's not picking edge rushers or something, or
No.
is she the go-between between Bill and ownership when it comes to football budget?
Yes. She was involved in some of that, Mike, and everything from that to legal to human relations, human resources. She did a lot.
It's so weird. She appeared in the documentary, but she's never done an interview that I know of. No one can figure who she, but Bill gets fired. Robin Glazer. Mike comes in. Vrabel comes in.
Mike.
In the first couple of days, she's out. It's like, who is this person? What is she doing?
How about this? And maybe this is simplifying it too much, but it might come down to simple loyalties, right? Like, who's your loyalties to? And you covered Bill, and I think you could probably speak to this yourself. Like, if Robin's loyalties are to the Crafts, she came in 2007, and I believe was very close with them. And so maybe as things started to, I don't want to say with Bill, if Bill felt like things were slipping away from his grip in the organization, he's going to be looking around and saying, who's loyal to me? Mike Lombardi. I know he's always got my back, right? And so that might explain the dynamic a little bit.
Okay, Mike, before we let you go, are you expecting anything on the staff this week? Do you think things could happen?
I sort of do, Mike. I sort of do. And it might be as simple as they might retain some guys like special teams coordinators, stuff like that. But I do think the results this weekend will speed things along a little bit in some areas.
Okay. Who do you like in the games?
I think I'm going Buffalo. I'm sorry. Sorry about that, Jim. And I'll stick with the Eagles at home, but don't feel great about it. Very impressed with Jaden Daniels.
Okay, Mike, thanks again for taking the time for us. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
Mike, see you later.
Always, guys. Great being with you. Thanks, guys.
Mike Reiss joins us here on Toucher and Hardy. Felger and Mazz filling in. The Robin Glazer thing, is weird. Again, who is she? No one even knows. And she's become the bad guy. It feels like a uniquely Patriot thing. Either way, we got some other things that we want to get to this morning. Brad Marchand benched, and the Celtics with another interesting loss. I don't know quite how to put that, but another interesting weekend for the Celtics, not in a good way. We'll hit on those things. We're going to shoot the breeze at 8. We're going to talk to Hardy himself at 9 a.m., coming off of that game in Detroit where he and Fred were. And we continue here in the morning. It's Felger and Mazz takeover on Toucher and Hardy. Boatley. That was Joe Sacco on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
After a matinee blown loss to the Ottawa Senators, Bruins up 2 goals, third period. Ottawa scored twice with the goalie pulled, right? Wasn't the first one, didn't they pull the goalie relatively early on? I thought they scored 2 with the net.
At least
with the
one
net.
that I remember.
I thought it was 2. Either way, they score in the closing seconds of the third period, net empty, to send the game into overtime, and then they lose. So they lost in the shootout, right?
Yeah, they lost in the shootout.
Yes. They lost in the shootout, but the second of 2 goals that they gave up, or the game tire, came in the slot with Brad Marchand on the ice, and it was Giroux who scored the game-time goal. Whoever it was. Brad Marchand with a little loose coverage. Then you get in overtime, and Joe Sacco sits Brad Marchand for the overtime loss to Ottawa. And that was Sacco after the game. Mazz, your thoughts?
Loved it. 100%. Loved it. I give Sacco all the credit in the world. You've talked a million times about the entitlement or the love that the Bruins give their players who've been around a long time. They all get contracts. They all get stayed. They get too much power. Maybe there's not enough accountability. I absolutely freaking loved it. And as a follow to that, what does it tell you about the Bruins that their captain has to be disciplined within a game? That the coach of the team, the interim coach of the team, looks at the captain and says, I'm going to make an example of you because you're not making enough of an example of yourself. You're supposed to set a standard for everybody on the roster, and you haven't. And so you know what? Sit your ass down on the bench. We're going to play the overtime without you. Now, look, to his credit, Marchand said the right things after this game, that you have to earn the right to play in overtime. I didn't do that, et cetera, et cetera. I'll be ready to go. They're playing today. San Jose, you get the idea. Okay, so Marchand, I would say, all things considered, handled it right. But, Mike, this is not anything new with regard to Brad Marchand. The goal against St. Louis in the Stanley Cup Finals, not coming off the ice when he's supposed to because he stays on for shifts too long. All these little things that you've heard about Marchand over the year that they have tolerated, Joe Sacco is now putting his foot down. God bless him. I don't know if it'll hurt his chances or help him to keep the job, but I like it.
Yeah, he's the name, he's the captain, so if you're trying to make an example, he's the guy to bench. But if you're benching guys for being a defensive liability, then bench Nikita Zadorov, too, because he sucks and was, again, a liability in this game. And you can't blow a 2-goal lead when you're fighting for points and trying to make the playoffs, and the team you're playing is got a couple of games in hand, and they're right with you. Like, that was brutal Saturday. That one legitimately pissed me off.
So it was Josh Norris, and he was in the slot. And if I went back and watched it, it wasn't like Marchand, totally blew a play or totally gave up on a play. It was just kind of soft coverage in their own zone. And Norris was sort of in his area, and Marchand just didn't quite check him or get on him closely enough. He gave him too much room. And so I guess I'm saying that because it felt a little much if it was just about that, okay? If it was just about that play, the game-time goal in the final seconds, that felt like a little heavy-handed to bench your captain on that play, which all is a long way of saying I just wonder if it's building up. And it's a cumulative thing with Brad Marchand, and Sacco looks out there and says, now he's going to do this? Okay, sit. Make no mistake, that's kind of a big deal that now they've sat their captain. They benched their captain in overtime. I'm not going to tell you it's quite like Steve Casper taking Cam Neely's jersey and that sort of thing, but it's on the road to it. And now, Mazz, you have your team captain getting chirped by his former coach and shoved on the bench. You got your captain in the middle of it with the goalie. Your captain in the middle of it with maybe David Pastrnak. Benched in the overtime of a key game, going for a playoff berth against a team that's chasing you in the playoffs. This is your captain. So add this all up. Trade the guy. Trade him. You've already hinted at this that you're looking to retool, or it's got to be one of the past that you're considering. They've got to change up the mix in that room. I do not think Brad Marchand's been a good captain. Never mind how he pitched the fit a couple weeks ago with the report of him and David Pasternak, going after reporters saying Keefe should lose his job. It's garbage move by Brad Marchand. And now on the ice, I'd trade the guy. I would trade Brad Marchand. I've been saying that for a while. I'd trade a lot of guys on that team. But I might start with the captain. You want to shake up the room, Mazz? Trade the captain.
Yeah, look, and again, and Mike, to answer your question, I'm just giving you my 2 cents. There is no way this was about one shift. No way.
Oh, it's been building.
No, you don't do this to your captain, your team captain, based on one shift. So I was just looking at some of the particulars. His last 7 games, Marchand is a -10. -10. He had 1 shot in the game on Sunday. He has 1 goal since December 23rd. Okay, so, and I don't really remember a whole hell of a lot of them in that game against Ottawa, and I was going back and forth with the football games, and so I didn't see every minute of the game. But to me, I don't know. I got no issue with it. None, for what you just said. That he seems to be involved in all of these things. The team sucks. The captain has to be a factor in that somewhere, somehow. And as someone said to me at the beginning of the year, I'm not going to get into who, but it wasn't my garbage man. Okay? As someone said to me at the beginning of the year, Marchand has always been the guy to push the limit on the ice, to play on the edge. What makes anyone think he would be different off the ice at the end of his career? Okay.
So there's a Bruins thought. How about Celtics thought? Ryan, cue up the play that Mazz wanted you to hit on there if you could. Celtics lose over the weekend to the Atlanta Hawks.
You usually have not.
Trae Young down the right side, lobs it up. It goes through the hands of Capella. He's able to save it out to the corner for DeAndre Hunter. 3 no good. And Derek White can't secure the rebound. Ripped away by Okongwu. Tatum reaches in. Jump ball. And Tatum and Okongwu shoving each other now. And Tatum wants that basketball. And they got to separate them. That's what you want to see from Jason Tatum.
What in the wide world of sports am I seeing?
So, look, I felt the same way, Mike. I saw this confrontation between Tatum and Okongwu, and I went, whoa. I don't think I've ever seen Jason Tatum get that aggressive and that much in someone's face in a confrontation on the court. And I thought, well, here you go. Was it that hard? Then, seconds later, he bricked a three-pointer, and I think he missed the rim, or if he hit it, it was an absolute cinder block from the right wing. Okay, he went 1 for 4 in overtime, and his only hoop was a good hoop. It was down by the bucket. He made this sort of lefty drive off the top of the glass, kissed it up top, and let it drop in. It was a good play, but it occurred to me, I think after that confrontation, he was so amped up that he couldn't play right. And I've come to the conclusion, if that's what the effect it's going to have on him on the floor, I would rather someone else fight his battles and let him play his game. Seriously. I thought
if he finally stands up to someone, which, again, as Max sort of intimated there, we've all been calling for, and now you're like, no, probably don't do that?
Yeah, because I don't think it's who he is.
I'd buy that theory, yeah, because that's not his personality. And so some kind of confrontation like that is going to have him he's just not going to be able to dial it back.
Exactly right, Murray. I think it got him out of his game, Mike.
Yeah.
It got him out of his body, out of his skin, and he wasn't good after that. So to me, I was like, whoop, that's it. Next time, get Jaylen Brown out there to fight for him and move on.
Well, maybe the tip away was the post game with Gary Washburn. Ryan, do you have that? Can we hear that exchange?
You usually have not gotten into shoving matches before. I don't know when's the last time you've gotten into one of those. Can you describe what happened and what you were feeling? And then did you see Joe clapping in the middle of the fray?
Honestly, I probably did that for you. I thought you probably liked that. See me get angry and but it was fun. A little tussle. I think the fans enjoy it. Got the crowd going. I give the refs credit. It shouldn't have been a tech. They didn't call it. They separated us, and then we kept playing.
But, he's almost admitting that I'm just doing it because you people keep asking me to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, he forced himself into it. It's not a role he wants. And certainly I don't think he's fit for it either. And Jaylen Brown still, I only watched parts of this game, but I was looking at some of the numbers too. I thought he had a handful of shots blocked. 8 of his 27 shots were blocked. And then I was reading from Adam Himmelsbach too. He's declined to speak the last couple of games. He hasn't taken part in the post-game media thing in the last 4 games. Something's going on here.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. I didn't know you were allowed to do that. I thought you were required to speak post-game.
Yeah, again, not taking part in the post-game. The last 4 specifically declined requests the last 2.
Yeah, Himmelsbach had a good little thing. I say good little thing. It was a bunch of collection of notes that went over, a bunch of sort of things going on with the Celtics, and that was one of them, and it was a good observation.
All right, so.
And something's up there.
Something's up there. Something is up with that squad, for sure. We'll continue to pick at it. But not here, not now. Because we're doing the morning show. So we can't go full Felger and Mazz at you, right? It's just a little Felger and Mazz.
I thought you probably liked that.
So we're going to, want to shoot the breeze, Mazz?
I'm all in.
Okay, we're going to shoot the breeze.
Shooting the breeze is what I do.
So Ryan Beaton helping us out back there. Kyle, maybe you can help me out with, it's just basically call us on whatever, and we'll just shoot the breeze.
Yeah, it's like having a nice glass of iced tea on the porch, just letting the wind blow by.
So you got to just.
What's your comfort level going to be with this, Mike? This is what I want.
Oh,
to see.
I'm in.
Okay,
I'm here for it. It's
letting the wind blow by. Is that what that smell is?
It's chit chat, but it's even a lower volume than that. It's just letting it be. So you call us on whatever you want out there. 617-779-0985. And we'll shoot the breeze. We'll see how that goes. We'll do it right after this. Don't go anywhere.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way on the Sports Hub.
All right, playoffs. Yeah, we're talking about the playoffs. You bet we are. Get in on the action at the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs. And the key to you scoring big is betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Are you ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score a touchdown. That's big. Touchdowns, obviously big. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. Big weekend of games coming up. Well, you can start tonight. Heck, national championship game next weekend, the 2 conference title games. Great football, big games coming up for you to bet touchdowns or whatever you want. And just know that if you're a new customer, you can bet $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. You download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and again, use code SPORTSHUB. Code SPORTSHUB for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. And hope is...
It's the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs for the rights to play in Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. College football national championship game takes place tonight. Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. 14-1 Notre Dame takes on 13-2 Ohio State. Buckeyes come into the game an 8.5-point favorite. Starting at 7:30. Double dip of Bruins and Celtics for an MLK Day matinee. Bruins coming off Saturday's OT loss to Ottawa, home against the San Jose Sharks. Puck drop at 1. Ryan Johnston, Bob Beers with your call here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Then keep it here on the Sports Hub of the Celtics on the road against the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green ruled out with a calf injury for Golden State. Tip off at 5. Granny and Max with your call. Michael Silverman of the Boston Globe reports the Celtics can have at least 4, maybe 5 bids from prospective new owners with an ultimate sale price higher than $6 billion. First round of the sale process will close in 3 days, January 23rd. From that initial group of 4 or 5, 2 bidders will be chosen in February to submit to a final round of bidding. Headlines, they are brought to you by Game Day Men's Health. Suffering from low T, Game Day Men's Health can help with a free and quick T-level test. Search GameDayMen'sHealth.com today. Find the location near you. Game Day Men's Health, because every day should feel like game day. I'm Jim Murray for Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Another check of headlines, 30 minutes.
This is Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown turns the corner. Finger roll is up and good. Score to the foul.
Listen to home of the Boston Celtics, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
The following is a special announcement. This is the Toucher and Hardy Show. What you're about to hear are Felger and Mazz filling in for Toucher and Hardy. You see, it's not an ego thing. Nobody's jumping into anybody's bed. Not that we know of, anyway. We just want to make clear that Felger and Mazz are here to fill in like the troopers they are. Yeah, you too, Maury. Now, more Felger and Mazz on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Feel like shooting the breeze?
Zoe and I have been shooting the here. 617. Oh! Hey, dump it. Dump. It's shooting the breeze.
Nothing. I just stopped by to chat, shoot the breeze.
Dump.
I am drinking Crown Royal and salsa water now for the summer breeze.
All right. Let's shoot the breeze. For when, a couple weeks ago, Schmatzy, Rick Radzik, our program director, said, hey, you guys don't have to do it. I was just thinking, though. Maybe, how would you feel about filling it in the morning? I said, Rick, you know what I want to do? I want to shoot the breeze. I've heard a couple of segments when Hardy and Fred do it. They were great. And you know me. It's not one of my strengths, shooting the breeze. In fact, when I can tell someone wants to just shoot the breeze or chit-chat, I usually run.
Usually get up and leave.
Turn around.
I'm not really the chit-chat, shoot the breeze guy. It's like, Get in, get out. Give me the facts and what do I need to get from point A to point B? What do we need to do to move on? So, but I want to shoot the breeze. So we're going to shoot the breeze. We are filling in for Fred and Hardy today. We got Mazz and Murray in our Town Fair Tire Studios. I am remote. You've loaded up the phone lines. Call us on whatever you want, and we're just going to shoot the breeze. You ready, Murray?
Yes, let's do it. Let's shoot the breeze.
Okay, Murray. You okay?
Yeah, no, I'm better now.
Okay.
I got it all out.
Kevin in North Smithfield. Go ahead, Kevin.
Hey, good morning, Commissioner of all sports. You're going to have to pretend a stranger is a long-awaited friend for a couple minutes here. This reminds me of I think it was an April Fool's Day many years ago, where Pat Sajak and Alex Trebek switched places for their shows. I love seeing people out of their comfort zone. Have a great day, guys. Thank you.
You too. Murray.
Yes, Mike.
Did you ever?
I know there was tone there. There was tone there.
What's the matter?
Nothing.
What's the matter? What's the matter?
Literally nothing. You're detecting tone where there isn't any.
Yes, there
Mazz.
was. No, there was tone there.
Definitely is not.
Like, what do you want? I don't like this.
What were you going to say?
You've had a chance to be a morning guy in your radio career before, correct?
That's correct, yes.
And have you turned it down flat out?
No, not specifically. I mean, I've taken it because, you're hungry to hang on in this, dying business. So you take they take what they give you. But at this point in my life, if offered for $1 less than $350,000 a year, the answer is no.
But I do love
because now you have leverage.
No, now I've just lost all cares. Like, so
to the point where Murray is publicly actually putting the dollar figure on. So he's like, he started negotiations there, Mazz, at 3. I think Murray, as a standalone morning show, Murray in the morning, just one guy for $350. Like, I think he could deliver on that. No, I think there's good value there.
There's great value if he's doing it solo. He's got to get more than that.
I've always said Murray would be a great morning guy.
No, I could do it, but my poor wife is going to lose me at like age 62 because this shift will drive you to an early grave.
Murray, that might happen anyway, buddy.
Joe in Maine, let's shoot the breeze, Joe.
Hey, what's happening? Just driving up 95, going up to Portland. The main roads are pretty good. It's the back roads you got to look out for. So.
Okay, so
see on my commute in, granted that was 5-ish in the morning. The secondary roads clean, highway not.
So part of shooting the breeze is talking about traffic and the weather
and the road conditions.
Road conditions.
I'm with the caller. My roads in the secondary roads were really kind of sloppy, and the main roads were much better. As I got closer to Waltham, the conditions got better and better.
Because I got to tell you, 2 topics that I think if you just avoid, you're going to be like 5% less boring, 5% more interesting, however you want to put that.
Summer breeze. Feel like shooting the breeze?
Avoid talking about the weather or the traffic. But when you shoot
not me. I mean, that's if you're like an old salty prick New Englander, I want to hear it. I want to hear you bitch about the traffic. You want to yell about the weather? I'm your guy.
Maybe the 2 most common human topics ever.
Oh.
but I understand your point.
This is what we do when we shoot the breeze. Riz in East Providence. Go ahead, Riz.
Good morning, fellas. First and foremost, shout out to the Twitch fan. You already know YouTube. Man, just want to let you guys know, man, Martin Luther King is rolling over in his grave right now listening to you dudes in the morning, man. Seriously. Mazz, just want to let you know, too, don't nobody care about them punk headphones. And Felger, do us all a favor, bro. Stop hyping up the competition for your carpet come up missing.
Okay. Hyping up he's not talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, is he?
No, I think, you saying, like, I stand with Keefe, I think is what he was getting.
Yeah. People bent out of shape about that? What? I stand with
people are bent out of shape about everything.
True.
I stand with media guys who break stories or go out on a limb or, have unpopular takes or opinions. But certainly a good story I wouldn't dump on. So, I don't know. I don't mean to pump up the competition, but, what can I tell you?
I like that guy's voice.
No, you just try to call it like it is. He had great pipes.
Brian in Fitchburg, let's shoot the breeze.
After being a guy who just got back from Disneyland at Christmas time, if you are a grown-ass man and you spend $20 to buy a poncho to go on a water ride like Tiana's Bayou Adventure, you decide you should deserve to be beaten in front of your whole family.
I didn't get that whole thing.
Agree. If you buy a poncho for a water ride at a theme park, you deserve to be beaten.
That's what he said.
Poncho. Yeah, water ride, yes. But what if you're going to like Niagara Falls and you're on the boat? Like, I think you need a poncho there because you're going to get completely soaked. But a stupid water ride? No. Just,
Well, I would say, isn't the point of the water ride to get wet?
Yeah.
Okay. You would think.
There you go.
PJ in Sagamore Beach. Hi, PJ.
Hey, guys. Hey.
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 It's good to hear you guys in the morning. It's definitely different. What's this? This is hour 3?
Yes.
So I'd probably normally listen to you guys. I'd probably be at least 4 Bud Lights deep and have a Dr. McGill cutting in me.
Oh.
But not much snow down towards the Cape. Speaking of weather, Mike, have you ever met Sherry?
Sherry Springer, is that what you were going to say?
Sherry Spear, I think you meant.
Spear.
Spear, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
She's a delight. Absolute delight. Mazz.
Yes.
Are you a little itchy that there's snow accumulating right now on your driveway and you're not there snow blowing it?
I'm not itchy about the accumulation, and I enjoy the act of removing it. So I am eager to get home to do it. but I'm not like anxious about the accumulation.
Let me ask you,
because I have an errands and it can clear that thing with no problem.
Does it bother you if someone
I sound like Zoe. Sorry, go ahead.
If someone drives on the snow or walks over the snow and, like packs it down a little bit so you don't get quite the clean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I know totally what you mean. Yes, if you're asking me, would I prefer to do it before someone drives on it, my answer is yes. But I don't have like OCD, or I'm not anal about it. But when I left my driveway this morning, it did occur to me, well, this kind of sucks, and now I'm not going to get a clean driveway. Yes,
right. You want an elite. You want fresh tracks when you take your errands out.
Definitely, I want it clean as a whistle, baby. That's what I want. I want the thing to be completely clean.
And just to restate, you believe your snowblowing game is elite.
Yeah, definitely top level.
And what makes it so?
I would say my tactical approach. I usually have a plan to everything. Game planning is my strength, is really what it comes down to. So if you have a wide driveway, then don't make the mistake of picking one side. You got to go down the middle, shoot it to both sides, and go from there.
Your particular driveway, though, must be the same game plan every time.
It is, for the most part, yes. Okay. Because, again, I use a machine that can handle all kinds of snow.
Chris in Avon wants to shoot the breeze. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So I'm calling actually more for advice from you guys. So you guys are all a little bit older than me, right? So I'm 41 years old. I'm dating a girl that's 51 years old, and she is in the middle of menopause right now. And I noticed that she can be a little irrational, unreasonable sometimes. I'm just wondering if you guys could give me any advice, being if you guys have all probably gone through it with your girl.
Simple.
Thank you.
Yeah. Who wants to go first?
You.
Don't talk back. Just let it go. No matter what it is, it could be the wrongest thing ever. Could be unreasonable, wrong. Just let it go. Just don't push back. Don't say anything. Just nod your head. Say yes. Just do that, and do that as much as you possibly can, and it should just go away.
I think that's the most sound advice I've ever heard you give.
Thank you.
And the problem is, I don't know the caller's history, but I grew up in a house full of women. So I had two older sisters, and my mother, to the point where I often felt like I had three mothers, four if you count my father, but that's a different discussion. So you get tired of sort of taking it after a while, and you lash out.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have, sort of a knee-jerk reaction to that, but I don't think I've ever really done it to my wife because.
Listen,
I had the same kind of upbringing as Mazz. So when in doubt, go hide.
When it's with menopause, or just anything, just
right
as much as you can, just nod and agree, and move on, and hopefully it goes away or they forget it.
Right. At the end of the day,
it's shooting the breeze.
At the end of the day, you are not really the source of her anger.
Chris and Pawtucket, although you may be. Chris and
that's
Pawtucket,
true too. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hey, stripping you guys away from the afternoon, away from the negativity, and away from sports here for a second, because Freddie T has an affinity for some old sitcoms like Saved by the Bell. He likes to do some deep dives. And I was just wondering if any of you guys, Jim, you're probably closer to Freddie T's age than Tony and Felger. So do you guys have any knowledge in those 80s and 90s sitcoms, Growing Pains, Saved by the Bell, that you guys would like to break down for us and deep dive an episode that really touched you?
The one that many people my age, and I'm sure Fred has talked about this too, that remember that I could always spend some time on was the very special episode of Different Strokes with Arnold and poor Dudley and special guest star Gordon Jump. Which there was the time in the 80s where they really put the fear in you. You're going to get stolen and molested, and I feel like dudes my age or kids my age had a word. Like if a stranger ever comes to you, tries to take you for a ride, you ask them what's the special word? That's like the safety word, and if they knew it, the thing was mine was peanut butter, and I was a fat kid. So it would be very easy for a stranger to come to me and be like, "Hey, Tubby, you want peanut butter?" And I'd be like, "All right, time to go." And next thing you know, I've been sold into sex slavery, But there was the very special episode of Different Strokes where poor Dudley got it. And, that one I remember well.
I can't really speak on authority on sitcoms after.
I figured you couldn't.
Yeah, Happy Days in Laverne and Shirley growing up in Milwaukee was, outsized in importance. And after that, it was all downhill. Yes, Mazz.
No, I can't say I watched Save the Bell, but Different Strokes, Murray? I was into that one for sure. I don't remember that particular episode, but I'm a bad person to talk about for remembering most episodes.
The bike store, they show them the nudie magazines, the whole thing.
I don't remember that one either.
That was burned into my brain.
I'm ashamed to say I was mostly into dramas.
Ryan, give me a sounder.
Shooting the breeze. Shooting the breeze. Shooting the breeze. Shooting the breeze.
Care Bear. Marissa on YouTube. Hi, Marissa.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
One, it's Pawtucket, not Pawtucket. It's so weird. Number two, my shoot the breeze is I find the people online who complain about stupid things like in towns, like this guy threatened to sue an owner of a daycare because their Christmas tree was on the side of the road and he ran over it instead of going around it. And then this other guy actually complained that there was too much salt on the street yesterday. I was very angry because they put salt on the street before it snowed.
And they were complaining about it online. The simple solution there is just get off the internet. Don't listen to those people. This is a problem with shooting the breeze. It's just people complain.
Don't you need to salt?
Because we don't do any of that.
But it's like
don't you need to salt the roads before you?
Like they got to salt the roads.
Yeah.
Do you take your Christmas tree down, Miss?
We had a phony, yeah.
Which we've discussed. Which no soul. When did you take it down?
January 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
We were away until, as you know, I had an extended vacation over the holidays. So let's see. I think we got back on the 2nd. We took it down on the 3rd. It was quick.
Mine finally came down last night. They pick up trees on Mondays here. So it finally got the 13-year-old to take it down last night. A little late. That's a little late in the ballgame. Murray, do you even have a Christmas tree?
We didn't do anything this year because of the move and everything. So it was like, dark and cold in our place before we moved. It was like Christmas and the holidays didn't even happen.
I will say, though,
nice.
Yeah, Mike, to your point. Like,
I like that.
The other day, was it yesterday? On the way here, I saw one rolling across the street. That was entertaining.
Eric and Saugus, go ahead.
Hey, so I might get mixed reviews from you guys on this one, but really drives me nuts is, we're us North Shore guys, we like to complain about the traffic and such, and it's like, I call it the ass wedge system. I don't understand why everybody is all jacked up on the brakes behind other people. Like, I know people shoot in the gap, but I like to leave a nice gap in front of me because I don't want to screw up the front of my nice truck. If somebody wants to drive into the back of me and go through their insurance, fine, but I try to leave myself a nice gap. I know it's hard to stay on top of it here in our traffic, but I don't understand the people that just drive up each other's asses and stay wedged there, stop and go on and off the brakes. Great stuff, guys.
Okay, thanks. So there's two things on this. One is you can tell a bad driver just by how they ride the brakes. Like, I would just say that's a generic sort of tell. You don't know how to drive, those brake lights are on. But I would also say this. I'm all for not leaving a gap. I fill the space in front of me. To the point, like, here's something that always...
Why am I not surprised by that?
Well, but it's get from just... There it is. If you're paying attention, take the space. The people who get bent out of shape when they get cut off, I never understood. Do you know why you got cut off? Because you weren't quite paying attention. You weren't taking the space in front of you. There's a space in front of you because you're either lollygagging or you're riding your brake and you don't know how to drive or you're futzing on your phone. And so there's a space there that I am then taking. Why are you angry? You left that space there. You know what almost never happens to me? Almost never. I almost never get cut off because I'm paying attention and there's no space in front of me. And if someone cuts me off, I don't ever honk. I don't ever lift my finger. If anything, it's a proverbial tip of the cap. Well done, sir. Not many people get that space on me. Not many people get in front of me because I'm there. I'm there and I'm ready to take the space. And if you take it in front of me, that means I've either fallen rarely, the rare occurrence I've just sort of nodded off or not paying attention or not dialed in, and you were, and I tip my cap to you, sir. I don't get the people that get bent out of shape if you get cut off. You get cut off, that's your fault. That's how I look at it. Thoughts?
Sometimes I think people leave space just to be courteous.
Oh, I'm that guy. That happens all the time. Come on in. I'm that guy with the little wave. I totally am that guy. Not a problem. But the cutoff thing, that's what I'm talking about. You get cut off, that's your fault.
It depends on my mood for the day. Like how I'm going to act. If I get cut off, like, yeah, you're getting if I'm pissed, like you're getting the finger, you're getting the honk, you're getting the whole deal. Yeah, it just depends on the day. But I'm mostly with Eric. Yeah, I do want to leave like a half a space because if someone tries to brake check me, like I don't want to end up smashing into them or, getting my car all effed up. So, yeah, I want to have a little bit of space.
Let me hear that Sills and Croft there, Ryan. I like that one.
How about this one?
Sitting around at a cocktail party, shooting the breeze, shooting the breeze, shooting the breeze, shooting the breeze.
It's not bad. I like that one. Brian in Needham. Hi, Brian.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Mike, I know you're a Grateful Dead fan. I saw them back in '91 at the Old Garden. I was wondering what was your favorite concert that you went to?
Oh, my God.
Of the Dead.
Don't get me started. I have a Grateful Dead game in the holster today. I don't know if we're going to get to it. Do you want to do it? Do you want to do it, Murray?
If it's cringy, yes. Yeah.
It's cringy because it's, I don't know if it's going to land, but...
That's why I want to hear it.
I mean, I'm going to be useless in this, but I'm in.
Well, no, but here's what I came up with. The game, and it's an idea, but I'm afraid to do it because it might be just totally lame. But I picked out a handful of Grateful Dead lyrics, and then and then a handful of Tony Robbins motivational sayings or Tony Robbins lines, that he has in his speeches or in his books. And I give them to you, and you have to tell me whether it's a line from a Grateful Dead song or a Tony Robbins motivational speech.
I like it.
I don't know how else to introduce you to the poetry of Robert Hunter and the Grateful Dead and the beauty of the majesty of their lyrics and their tasty licks and incorporate. I don't know how else to do it.
Can I give you one tip?
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, you got to commit to it. Because now you sound no. Listen, right now you sound a little wishy-washy.
I know.
And if you're wishy-washy, it's not going to work. If you're going to hit the 7-iron, hit the 7-iron. Don't be a wuss.
It's well said. Ryan, I'm jammed up. Hit Sarah in Everett on line, whatever that is, 7, I think. Hi, Sarah. Let's shoot the breeze.
Good morning, you guys. I have to say, Felger, you're far more enjoyable at 6 a.m. than at 2 p.m. I like it.
Speak for yourself.
What I really wanted to ask is, your significant other, Sarah, the Wood, is so good looking. Is that hard for you as her spouse? And I like men, but I would hop the fence any day if she made eye contact with me.
I would say it's challenging, Sarah. The expression "who has hand" in a relationship?
Yes.
Who has hand? It's usually for younger people or people who are dating, and you're trying to carve out the relationship and who's got hand, who's got the upper hand. Imagine being married to someone for 23 years now who has hand. That's what it's like. You're always sort of climbing uphill. She's always got in her back pocket that I'm better looking. I don't need to do what you were asking me to do because I got hand. You know what I mean? It's like picture that for 23 years. That's the best way I could describe it.
That must be how my wife feels.
Ryan, how are we on time? Do we break? What do we do?
Yeah, we should probably break here.
Okay, we're going to break. Do you want to keep shooting the breeze?
I say yes.
I like it.
All right, we're going to keep shooting the breeze after this. Don't go anywhere.
Summer breeze. Feel like shooting the breeze?
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Yeah, that's right. We're shooting the breeze. We continue. Mazz, Murray, Town Fair Tire Studios in Waltham. I come to you remote. Felger Mazz filling in for Toucher and Hardy. How about, is this Jake in Boston, the real Jake in Boston?
No, this is the fake Jake in Boston. But
Good.
So my buddies and I were talking about this last night during the games. Do you think the snowstorm we got in Boston would damper / put out the fires in LA at the moment? I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm ignorant.
No.
I don't know how all that works. It wouldn't, Mazz?
No. In fact, I correct me if I'm wrong. I think a lot of times these kinds of conditions can be, I'll say, worse for the firemen, if I'm not mistaken. But, look, maybe there's someone who's more of an expert than me. But the cold in and of itself, and some snow will not...
the moisture?
No, not really. Not
How
really.
do you know this?
Because the fires are so strong that I think a lot of the snow that comes, because this storm is only about 4 to 6 inches. So to me, the heat is so great that a lot of it will evaporate before it even hits anything.
Okay, I'm going to sound so stupid talking about this out loud, but a rainstorm would do it, right?
I think a rainstorm would help. Yeah, but the freezing temperatures, if you have freezing temperatures, I think it hurts firemen.
I'm not going to pretend to know. Got me.
I mean, the more I talk about it, the dumber I'm going to sound.
Yeah, right.
Mike in the truck, go.
Morning, guys. I woke up about an hour early today to hear the Felger and Mazz takeover, so you guys are doing a good job. I want to ask Mazz specifically, you have your snow clearing plan. What do you do for your vehicles? 'Cause I just started using a leaf blower to clear off the vehicles, and it's a game changer when you get light snow like this.
So I've heard of people who do that, and I've actually used a leaf blower on the rink I have in my backyard. If the snow's light enough, it can be really effective. But I use a one of those things that became really
snow rake.
Basically, yeah, it's like the ones for the car.
Yeah, like a big
have
squeegee.
The plow on the yes.
Yeah, those things are the balls.
Yes, I use those. That's what I use, and obviously you do the car first. Get everything on the ground, then go by with your snowblower, blow all the snow out of there, drive the car to another spot, and do what's underneath it. So, but to me, clear off the car first. I use those snow plows that Murray's talking about. Then I snow blow, and my house looks pristine when it's done. I wouldn't use my house as a standard if I were the average Joe.
Because it's just not attainable.
Correct. When it comes to this point, I'm really a professional with regard to snow removal.
Dan in Nashville. Hi, Danny.
Hey, what's going on, Mike?
Not much. What do you got? Let's shoot the breeze.
All right, so I got a Pearl Jam tattoo. I know you're a big Pearl Jam guy, all right? And you played a song one time on your show, like probably about a year ago, and I'm sorry about my dog, but I can't remember what it was because I couldn't look it up. What is your favorite Pearl Jam song? That's all I got for you guys. I love seeing you guys out of your comfort zone. This is the balls.
Okay. Well, that favorite song thing changes. Like, you have one favorite song that's your favorite song your whole life, or like it changes, it goes through waves and da-da-da-da-da-da. But if you want a name, how about Red Mosquito? Like, I'll just give you that right out of the chute. And the guy that asked before about my favorite Dead show, that's hard to do too. That's like I saw 60 of them when the old man was alive. Since then, maybe at least that, if not more. So, like, what's your favorite one? Like, who's your favorite child? And it kind of changes, and it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to answer. How about Doug in North Andover? Go ahead, Doug.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I just had a quick take on someone who was on the morning show last week. They're talking about Pat's free agency, and they were going off about paying all these guys like Higgins and Ronnie Stanley. If the Pats go out and start paying guys just to pay them, we're going to be a crap organization for the next 15 years. You got to build the culture. If they don't fit with the program, don't bring them in.
Okay, a sports call here in the middle of shooting the breeze. Is that allowed?
Yeah,
sure.
I think you screwed up and took an actual call rather than one that says shooting the breeze.
My fault. We're supposed to shoot the breeze.
They got to spend money, and they got to start winning games. So if you got to bring in a guy like T. Higgins or Ronnie Stanley, whatever, spend the effing money.
But the caller's right. That's going to happen. They're going to be. We're putting so much pressure on them, and they've been shamed because they've spent so little that they're going to feel the need to spend, and they're going to overspend, and then people are going to be complaining about why'd you pay them that, Yeah. Like you know that's coming.
Well, that's their problem. I mean, again, don't overspend. There should be some strategic signings, though. They need centerpiece guys.
Spend it on the right guys. I mean, it is.
Can we please get back to the matter at hand?
Sure.
Go nuts.
That was good. That was a little Felger and Mazzy there. Just, Ryan, put me back in the mood here, would you please?
Sitting around at a cocktail party, shooting the breeze, shooting the breeze, shooting the breeze.
Adam in Worcester. Go ahead, Adam.
All right, bye. Hey, guys. I'm looking for a recommendation. Me and the wife are both turning 40 years old this year. I'm looking for a solid long weekend trip, maybe like a 3-hour flight away, something where we can relax, have some drinks. Let me know what you guys recommend.
You want warm or cold?
Hey.
No one wants cold.
He wants warm.
The answer is Charleston, South Carolina. Go when the weather's nice, easy flight. It's you're by the sea. There's good eating. It has a New Orleans feel without the grime. The answer, sir, is Charleston, South Carolina.
It's a popular one. You know what I've never done? And I'm not a bucket list guy. It's one of my proudest things. Like I don't get FOMO. I don't need to go somewhere. Like I don't have those tugs, which is I consider myself lucky. But there is Bermuda. That's got to be like a 3-hour flight too, right?
It's quick, yeah.
Yes.
Have you guys done it?
No, I was supposed to again, but that's how I ended up in Duluth this past summer. That was supposed to be the boys' trip. We were going to Bermuda, and then all of a sudden, one of the guys of this trip that I've done for now 18 straight years, oh, my wife's going to be mad if we go to Bermuda. So
Why?
That's how I ended up in Duluth.
My wife's going to be mad if I go to Bermuda. Why? Just take her the next time. You're like, what? Why?
Listen, man, it's a whole thing. Yeah. But I would like to go too. Yeah, no, that's still for me. I'd love to go to Bermuda. Should have went last summer.
Close, but a getaway. It's not quite tropical though, right? You got to be the right time of year.
I mean, it's one of the islands.
But
it's a little farther north.
Yeah,
though.
it's on the latitude of North Carolina, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's right, Mike. So the other thing is, look, I'm no, you can also look at nice resorts that are in, for example, I'm not a big Florida guy, but the Ritz-Carlton in Naples, if you can splurge, right on the beach, pretty awesome. So, like, there are spots like that too, but it depends what you want.
Ryan, what's the clock situation? What do I need to do here?
Probably this is around the time we break, yeah.
Okay. Are we going to still shoot the breeze till we get to Hardy at 9?
I think we take it to the top of the hour.
Yeah, I do too. Let's do a whole hour of breeze shooting.
We're going to keep shooting the breeze. Don't go anywhere.
Sports Hub headlines.
You get the Bruins and Celtics for an MLK Day matinee. It's also why you get the Felger and Mazz takeover of Toucher and Hardy this morning. So the Bruins, coming off Saturday's overtime loss to the Senators, home against the Sharks, puck drop at 1. Ryan Johnston, Bob Beers with your call here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Then you get the Celtics on the road against the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green ruled out with a calf injury for Golden State. Tip-off is at 5. Grandy and Max with the call, also here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. According to NBA insider Mark Stein, Milwaukee Bucks reportedly among the teams that have looked into acquiring the Miami Heat's Jimmy Butler. Championship weekend in the NFL is set after this weekend's divisional action. NFC Championship game next Sunday afternoon. Jaden Daniels in Washington at the Philadelphia Eagles at 3. Then the main event, the AFC Championship game, Bills Chiefs in Kansas City. Both for the rights to play in Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. College football national championship game takes place tonight at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. 14-1 Notre Dame takes on 13-2 Ohio State. Buckeyes come into the game an 8.5-point favorite. Headlines are brought to you by Bentley University, where good business begins and leaders come to learn. That's Bentley University. I'm Jim Murray from Boston Tone for Sports, 98.5 Sports Hub. Another check of headlines in 30 minutes.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
just don't know how to drive, and you should get used to it, because I get it. You're the foremost authority on everything, and you know how to drive in the snow, and everyone else doesn't know what they're doing, and I should suck it up and get out there and plow and not bitch about the conditions. The conditions sucked, and it wasn't great.
So this I got to tell you, okay, I've lived in Boston 37 years, okay? So, sorry out there. When people ask me where am I from, it's Boston. I'm a Bostonian. I'm sorry. Okay, 37 years. I've been here, even though you might have been born and raised here. I've been here longer than a lot of you. Okay, but I did spend my first 16 odd years in Milwaukee. This is the one thing that I still can't grasp about you people: how you can't handle winter or snow. It's just the outsized reaction to weather and snow, like Murray, who grew up in it. How many inches are out there? It's not, and it's
like 5 or 6.
And there's no traffic. It's like those are the best days no one's out there, and it's just a little bit of snow. The car goes through it, but oh my God, the panic meter when the snow's coming in, lining up to buy, candles and hard salami, and then the kvetching about the driving through the snow. I don't get it. Why is it so, the drama? Why you people have so much drama with winter? That's the one thing I don't get. Where I'm from in Wisconsin, it's just the way it is. It's winter. You go to work, you go to school, you come home. And there's not a ton of complaining about it. It just is. That's just the way it is. When I grew up, it was from Thanksgiving. It started to snow, and it didn't melt to the middle of April, and that's just what it was. Now I'm sure it's different with global warming and all this, but it just... So why the drama? Mazz, why are people so dramatic about just a little bit of snow?
I just think it's a change in routine, and it becomes like this. People are looking for some sort of easy excuse out of everything, always. And so it means typically, well, there's snow on the ground. Well, I can't get to work on time, or I can't do this, or I can't do that, and this means this today. And it's always an out to be something less than what you should be.
It's a horrible inconvenience, and people don't want their routines changed. I'm one of these types of people. I have some change rage to it. So yeah, I don't like the snow. I don't like the cold. I don't have to like having to wear like stupid boots. The extra time I got to give myself to clean the car off. All of that. Oh, it's all terrible.
So we're shooting the breeze. We're going to be joined by Hardy off the top of the 9 o'clock hour, coming back from Detroit and that really tough loss for the Lions. So we got to zip through these calls. You're all lined up. We'll be quick with these. Dave in Weymouth, go.
Hey, Felger, do you ever go down the sort of rabbit hole on YouTube of watching knockouts and boxing? I know you're a guy who watches it for the knockout, and there's some great highlight videos on YouTube.
Great idea. That I sound into. His comment line said entertainment tip for Felger. So I get these. Like, you got to watch this show. You got to watch that show. You got to watch this show. How you not watch this show? And then I start to watch the show. I'm like, I'm not going to stick with it. I can't. That I can do. Jason in Brooklyn, go ahead. Let's shoot the breeze.
Hey, boys. Recently went to a Devils game. Coming back to my seat, I got my wife's sandwich in my hand in the little cardboard box. My sandwich in the other hand, a capless bottle of water in my coat pocket, and the woman in front of me had her jacket draped over the back of her seat, but it was covering the cup holder, which I needed. Now, the game is going on. I want to sit down. I don't want to bother anyone. I just gently flick her coat back over so I can use the cup holder. My friend, who goes, I think he's the president of Snowflake University, says, well, you could have asked her. Why'd you have to be so aggressive? What do you guys think? Thank you.
Your friend's an a-hole, and you should have taken that uncapped water and squirted it on him. She put it there. It's now in your space. You get to move it without asking.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with moving it. None at all. Again, as long as you're you didn't throw it on the floor or something. Yeah, you can move it a little and put your drink there, sure.
Your friend stinks.
I would just say, if this whole thing took more than half a second of your time or life or mind thought, it's too much. You know what I mean?
Yes.
No one be an a-hole. Just move on. You wanted to drink your thing, just move your coat, and stop. And everybody just stop and move on. Okay, just keep going. Movement. We don't get stop and stuck to argue about some stupid bullcrap. Michael in Norwood. Yes, Michael.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Shooting the breeze here.
I got a wife. It's 17 degrees. She's sweating. And I got a snow broom. I hope you all got your wives some snow brooms while you're there.
Well, I'm going to cut you off. What's a snow broom, Mazz?
It's like a thing you use to clean off your car.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. It's like a big squeegee.
Yeah, okay, obviously, those things. Yeah. They call those snow brooms.
Yep.
Yeah, you know how the ones, some of them have brushes on them.
Luke and Natick. Yes, Luke.
Yeah, guys. Gentlemen's underwear. There's like that little flap in front.
Yeah.
Have you ever used it, and why is it there?
Well, why it's there is obvious. Do you use it?
No.
I typically do not. No,
Never, not once.
But I have, but it occurred to me the same thing the caller's asking is, well, it's there for a reason, so you can get in and out quickly. But I don't think it's really any quicker than just dropping the front down.
It's definitely more time consuming.
I think so, too. You got to sort of negotiate your way through there. I would rather just knock down the front door.
I don't know if you know about, you can pick this up. I'm just looking for efficiency. The quickest way from point A to point B to keep moving. Movement. Everybody just keep moving, okay? You said any extra time because you're bitching about the snow, or the lady had her coat draped over your thing, or you're futzing with your underwear. Just movement. Just keep moving. Don't get stuck on something that doesn't matter. And most stuff doesn't matter. Jay in Salem. Yes, Jay.
Just drop trowel and go.
First of all, I don't know who's behind the glass, but 8:50 a.m. Save the drop of Felger talking about candles and hard salami. Jimmy, I know you used to be big into video games. I know these guys don't let you bring up Madden too much. Ever since I found out as a running back using the sprint button makes your offensive line stop blocking, I've stopped getting Madden. Do you still play, or have you dropped yours?
I haven't owned a Madden since the Mahomes cover, I think in 2019. The game's it hasn't changed all that much. I did buy college football this past summer. I think I played it for like 2 weeks and then put it to the side. I just don't have it for video games the way I once did.
Ryan in Michigan. Hi, Ryan.
Hey, guys, I got some more winter drama for you. I got 3 neighbors. They've been challenging me every year with their outdoor Christmas light display. This year, no one's turning our lights off. So I feel like I'm in a face-off here, and I can't back down. But is there a date when you got to turn your lights off after Christmas and New Year's?
So I'll go first. I think it's the first Sunday after New Year's. And was New Year's Day this year on a Friday?
Thursday, I think.
It was a Thursday,
yeah,
correct.
Thursday.
Okay, so I would say that Sunday, at most the following Sunday. You know what I mean? So in this case, it would be January 9th or 10th, whatever that.
I think it would have been
So
12th.
first week of January.
But I think it's good to keep them up through the new year. Now, when does the new year land? If the new year lands on, it's like in this case, a Thursday, Friday, you should be taking that stuff down on Sunday. If it lands on like a Monday, I'll give you the whole week through the next Sunday, Sunday. Saturday, Sunday, so you and your kids can because taking all the stuff down has a certain little charm to it. I did it last night. So our thing was on way too long. But there's a little charm to it, taking it off with the kid, taking off the ornaments, blah, 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 taking down the lights. So I'd say that. Mazz, you have a look on your face.
To me, again, I would start on January 2nd, but I'll give you the first week for the things you said. If it falls at a funny time and you got to work Monday through Friday, first week of January, down. If your lights and tree are still up on January 20th, you're a tool.
I'm with Mazz on this. You get 2 weeks. You get to like the 14th or 15th. After that, I start getting judgy.
1 week.
Okay.
First week of January. By the end of that, it's down.
We were the tool bags. Fine. All right, Hardy's standing by. We can continue shooting the breeze. We're going to shoot the breeze with Hardy coming off of that tough Lions loss. I'll take the temperature of Robert coming up right after the top of the hour. Don't go anywhere here on a Felger and Mazz takeover of Toucher and Hardy. Lining up to buy, candles and hard salami.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
All right, folks, if you've got more things that you want to plug in than you have outlets, call Coleman Electric and schedule a free estimate for a panel upgrade.
weekend set in the NFL after this weekend's divisional action. NFC Championship game next Sunday in Philadelphia. It's Washington and the Eagles. And that's followed by the main event, the AFC Championship game. It's the Bills at the Chiefs in Kansas City. Both games for the rights to play in Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. College Football National Championship game. That takes place tonight at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. 14-1 Notre Dame takes on 13-2 Ohio State. Buckeyes come into the game an 8.5-point favorite, starting at 7:30. Bruins Celtics for an MLK Day matinee today. Bruins coming off Saturday's OT loss to the Senators, home against the San Jose Sharks. Puck drop at 1. Ryan Johnston, Bob Beers with your call here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Then keep it here on The Sports Hub for the Celtics on the road against the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green has been ruled out with a calf injury. Tip-offs at 5. Grandy and Max with your call. Headlines are brought to you by the $14.99 Big Deal Meals at the 99, like the chicken and sausage al forno, available every Monday through Wednesday for just $14.99. You gotta love the nines. I'm Jim Murray, Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Another update, 30 minutes.
Let's talk turkey, shall we?
Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, in the sports industry, that's what you say.
Got your talking head right here, buddy. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Boston, we don't think you're ready, but here it is anyway. Felger and Mazz in the AM on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Oh, no.
Now we got a penalty flag.
What are they doing?
12 players on defense with the offense in formation and the snap imminent. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. The yardage is enough for a first down.
Wow, you called it for 10 seconds,
I'm
Tom.
seeing him run out there, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
All right, that came on Saturday. If you're watching Detroit Commanders, fourth quarter, Detroit had closed the game to, I think it was 31-28. It was a 3-point ball game. Detroit hadn't stopped Washington all night, but Washington 4th and 2 at the Detroit 5-yard line. Chance for them to get a stop for the first time all night, it felt like. And again, these coaches keep going for it on 4th down. And Detroit has a chance to stop them. And instead, too many men on the field. Washington first down, they go on to score, and they go on to win the game. And let's go now to the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Rob Hardy-Pool, Michigan native, went out to the game. Sorry, Hardy, we had to play that. How you doing?
What's with all the sports? What are we doing?
I know. We just did an hour of Shooting the Breeze. An hour.
Oh. How did that go?
Great.
Not bad.
I feel like these two guys feel like they've been released from jail.
You know, well, we're going to shoot the breeze a little bit more. The first thing I want to say, do you know the last time I think I called into Felger and Mazz? It was maybe first year of the Sports Hub, live from the Deutsche Bank Championship, where I was tasked with doing updates from the media center. And I had to. It was like a scheduled thing. And they scheduled me to be down there calling into the shows, giving reports. And after I called in to tell you what was happening on the course, I'll remember this until the day I die. Felger said, you know, Hardy, he gives bad phone. And that was it. And it was crushing to me. But it was Rick Radzik who said, let me be the first one to tell you, don't pay any attention to what Felger says. So I said, okay. And I just brushed it off. So this is the second time in now 15 years I've called into the show.
How you doing this morning?
As I said after the game on Saturday night, I said, I feel bad that I don't feel worse because I knew it was going to happen. I thought maybe this year it would happen in the Super Bowl. And had they made it to the Super Bowl last year, I would have been okay had they made it there and lost. Just, legitimize this franchise, put them on the stage to show that they are a real football team and they're not the laughing stock of the league. This year, I was thinking they were probably going to break my heart in the Super Bowl. And that has as much to do with the Lions as it would who they would be facing. But to lose in the divisional round, they just find new and creative ways to break your heart. And the fact is, I knew it was coming, Felger, so I'm not all that surprised. And I really kind of, I'm bummed out that I'm not more bummed out.
So, real quick, but Murray, Hardy, do you feel that way? You knew it was going to happen. Did you know it was going to happen because they're the Lions and they're meant to break your heart? Or did you look at the actual team, the 53, and say it's not good enough? Which one was it?
Well, defensively, I knew they weren't good enough, and I knew it was going to have to be a shootout. And credit to Fred and anyone else who looked at the over on this game and said, I don't care if it's 65.5, pound the over. And he was absolutely right about that. So you knew it was going to take a ton of points to get it done. So defensively, I knew they weren't good enough. I was heartbroken that offensively they couldn't put together a better effort. Goff, before he got hurt, was not playing well. And I'm sure you saw on TV the same thing that we saw there at Ford Field. He just didn't have it. And the timing seemed off. He seemed off. He's been threading the needle and making some ridiculous passes all season long and going on for, a couple of years now. And they just weren't there on Saturday night. So it was bad to begin with. And after he got hurt, he looked even a little bit worse.
So what was the inflection point where you felt like, oh, this is all going to hell? Like what specific play that Amik Robertson guy, their defense, like you said, was decimated. He went down and that felt like, ooh, well, that's probably not a good sign. What was the moment you're like, oh God, this is happening again?
Well, I mean, I think you guys just played it, the 12th man on the field. And, I was at the game with Fred and his son and my buddy Steve, who is, I've been friends with for over 30 years now. And as we're standing there watching it, credit to Steve, picked it up before anyone else, including Tom Brady, it sounds like. Good for Brady for being able to count up those players like that. You know what? I take it all back. He is good. But my buddy Steve is watching. He goes like, they got too many men. They got too many men. And long before the ball was snapped. And after that happened, there were probably 2 or 3 points in the game that felt like the play of the game. And that one ended up being the play of the game. And for them to have such a boneheaded mistake, and for Aaron Glenn, who's supposed to be this, the next big thing in coaching and maybe even better than Ben Johnson if he finally gets a shot at it, to have that happen on his watch, on his defense, that was the moment when you just knew, all right, this isn't going to happen.
Right. The whole sideline's out to lunch. It's a player makes a mistake, he's out there. But if everyone could see it upstairs,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It's like, what are you doing? That leads to my next question. As a Lions fan, is there anything, Hardy, that you're out on? Just you know what? Campbell's not the guy, or Ben Johnson's not the guy, or Aaron Glenn, or Goff. I mean, you know what I mean? Or do you still fully believe in the team? If they get healthy, you're right back.
I'm kind of out on Goff at this point. You watch Jaden Daniels, you watch who's performing at the highest level in terms of quarterbacking in the league right now, and as pleasant as a surprise as he's been since the trade with the Rams. I don't think you can reach that next level with the likes of Jared Goff. He's been really good. And he's surpassed my expectations and what I thought he was going to do in that role. But I think you need a little bit more out of that position. And the fact that David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs played as well as they did, and Amon-Ra St. Brown is fantastic. Sam Laporta is, they've got the weapons, but I think you need a quarterback that is not a ton, but maybe 15% better than Jared Goff. Does that make sense? And if you get that, I think you can fix the defense a little bit and just be that team that is not going to puke all over themselves offensively in a big moment like that. And really, offensively, they were not good. Anytime they did get a big chunk play on Saturday night, it felt like a surprise. Whereas watching them for the most part over these last 2 years, no, that's what they do. They move the ball effectively and they do it surgically, and they just weren't doing that. And I hang a lot of that on Goff. I don't think he's the guy anymore going forward.
All right, Hardy. How was the trip?
The trip was great. I mean, being back in Detroit is so much different from the Detroit I grew up in, where you didn't go downtown. I mean, you went down to either, Cobo or to Joe Louis Arena to see a game, and then you went home. I mean, there was no hanging around. There was no walking the streets of Detroit. There was none of that, and it's transformed. I spent the day on Saturday walking all over downtown, and got to see some family the day before when I got in, and I had a great day on Saturday walking around. The fan base is fantastic. It really is. It's an amazing setup down there with Ford Field right next to the ballpark. Little Caesars Arena is down there now, so all the teams are playing downtown. It's a great place to be. But after that loss on Saturday night, I said, you know what? I don't need to stay through Monday. I actually came home yesterday. I could be working this morning, but I'm not.
Oh, so you cut it short then? Oh man. So hey,
how was the mood of the people?
Yeah, was there any violence? Like, were there any Washington fans celebrating a little too much that got a
There
fist
weren't
in the
any
face?
Washington fans there. There was nobody to fight with. Seriously, I mean, I don't know the number, but I would be shocked if you told me there were 2,000 Commanders fans there.
But what was the mood in the Hardy? I'm sorry to interrupt. Like the mood in the stadium, it's hard to tell through the TV, but it felt quiet or tight or something. And I half wonder if it's kind of like a Bruins crowd. Like a lot of times in a big Bruins game, it feels like the crowd's flat or it's quiet, and it's not that. People are so nervous because they know the tushing is coming, right? And so it's like everyone's all tight. What's it like in that stadium? Does everyone know they're going to lose?
So here's the biggest thing I can point to after going to games almost exclusively at Gillette for the last 20 years. The level of noise when the visiting team is on defense is deafening. I mean, it is the Who 1989 reunion tour loud, like deafeningly loud. And just the low murmur when the Lions are on offense. The biggest thing I can point to is the excited murmur when the Lions were on offense after halftime turned into a very quiet, nervous, oh God type of silence. And that mood struck me. You could really tell when the Lions were, when they had the ball in the second half, that's when the crowd got tight. It stayed loud. It stayed loud when the Lions were on defense, but offensively, it got weird in there. And the people left. I did not expect to see people leave with 4 minutes left in the game, but they did. The place was clearing out.
How was Fred?
Fred was great. He won $1,000 on the over, so he's happy as a clam.
All right, you boys got anything else?
No, I was just going to say, I always thought, Mike, when's the last time you went to Detroit? Because you must have made trips there.
Oh, yeah. But I haven't been back since covering the Bruins or Patriots. So
I just went at the beginning of December. It's great. It's a good guys trip for a weekend. He's right. That downtown area is great.
I'll tell you this. I mean, I covered the Super Bowl there in 2008, whatever year that was. 2005. I'd rather spend a week in Detroit than a week in Jacksonville,
Cincinnati,
Houston, whatever. Like it was not. It was. I'd rather spend a week in Detroit than a week in Minneapolis.
So the reason I ask you is because Hardy, I haven't been there in a long time, so I wasn't, with the new stadiums and everything you're talking about. I always thought it was underrated. I like Detroit. Good town.
Yeah, and Fred goes back a lot. But that was my first time in Ford Field. I mean, that place has been open for over 20 years now. Last time I saw the Lions play, anywhere other than Gillette or outside of Detroit was in the Silverdome, in Detroit anyway. So it's cool. The hotels around there, you walk straight over there. And I mean, not to play into the stereotype of what old Detroit was like, but there was no way you would walk a half a mile from your hotel to any place else in downtown Detroit 25 years ago. It was unheard of. It wasn't safe. You wouldn't do it. And now there's people out walking around and going to restaurants and bars and hanging out. So that part of it was really good, and getting to see some friends and family while I was back there. But holy crap, what a kick to the nuts that game was. Did anybody have the Commanders in that game? Did anyone pick them to win it?
No. No, I thought they'd make him, put a scare into him, but that was about it. I thought their defense was terrible. I thought Detroit was going to put up like 40 on them.
I picked them to cover, but not to win.
Well, yeah, I think you're the outlier, Mazz. A lot of people just thought it was going to be a blowout. It was going to be Jaden Daniels turned it into a pumpkin, and now instead we get to watch it. That's the other thing. Commanders, NFC Championship. What was the future on that before the start of the season? It had to have been plus 20,000.
Hardy, thanks for taking a few minutes. We appreciate it. I'm sure everyone here is looking forward to your return tomorrow.
Hang in there, Hardy.
Thanks for doing the show this morning, guys. You having fun? You enjoying it?
Love it.
Yeah. Not bad. I mean, Murray's had some ups and downs, but I think we're good. Thanks, Bobby.
Oh, good stuff. Thanks, guys.
Later. Okay, see ya. That's Hardy. He'll be back tomorrow with Fred. So we got, okay, Ryan, help me out. We got 2 segments to go or 1?
2 segments left, yep.
Okay. So
last segment is the stack.
Okay.
It's time for the stack.
And then we do the email bit.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to come back. We'll do the email bit, and we have all these calls still lined up because people still, they just want to shoot the breeze.
It's because we never do it with them at 2 o'clock. That's why.
All people want to do is just...
What happened to the game you're hiding from the people?
He doesn't want to do it.
Ryan, I apologize. I had you pull all those clips.
It's all right. We'll save it for a rainy day.
I had you pull all that sound. I'm sorry. We'll do it sometime. We got it in our back pocket. We'll do it. We'll pull it out sometime, and I'm sorry. I don't have the nerve to do it. I can't.
You made the right move. I can tell. I can tell listening to you don't have the sack.
Yep. I don't have the sack. I'm not up. I don't have the chops. I don't have the chops for this morning show game, man. I don't. If you take me out of my sports take bunker, I'm useless. So we'll go back to shooting the breeze and doing some emails right after this.
Toucher and
So I'd already booked the flights, and then I started looking at the rooms. I'm like, these numbers can't be real. Oh, and they were. So we stayed at the world's sketchiest Airbnb to try to make it affordable. But I think I've gotten that same vibe about Bermuda. Like $350 a head, we're going. Book the flights, and you're like, $2,000 a night? That can't be real, and it is.
Many of the islands.
Yeah.
Because they don't have anything but sun. They gotta get everything imported. It's like it's tough.
But the wood likes fancy places, man. And it just takes a little bit of the. It's just like, really, you're gonna do? How much do we just spend on lunch? Like, what do we?
Oh, the wood likes fancy places.
I don't mind them, but I'll tell you what. If it's too expensive, if it's like just gouging, it takes a little bit of it. A little bit out of it.
No, I hear you on that.
Mike in Nashua, subject line, don't be a fraud. Matt McCarthy brought it up yesterday morning. Big credit to him. Felger, unless you want to be seen as a total joke and hypocrite, you're not allowed to pull the Patriots fans are babies takes after that Chiefs-Texans game. Like Matt reminded us, all you did after the 2018 AFC Championship game was whine and complain that the refs gave the game to the Patriots, actively trying to take away from that win. So were you just a baby Packers fan in that instance, like you like to think Patriots fans are after last night? Make it make sense. Big fan, Mike in Nashua. Well, I mean, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I think all I probably did was point out you got a big break in that Chiefs game, which you couldn't handle. Oh, what do you mean we got a big break? No, you got a big break. That was it. Chris Jones,
D Ford.
Yeah, D Ford.
D Ford. Sorry, D Ford put his hand in the neutral zone, and the ref threw the flag, and that play won you the AFC title game. Brady threw an interception. The game would have been over. D Ford lined up offsides, and the ref threw the flag on it, which he didn't have to. By the way, he was definitely offsides. But I know refs. I have a friend who's a college ref, and the ref said, yeah, he was offsides, obviously. But we don't always throw that. If it's far outside on the far side of the play, sometimes that, you let that go. So all I pointed out was you caught a break and you would have lost the game, which you couldn't handle. This wasn't what happened yesterday or in Saturday in Kansas City. They were winning that game whether he got those flags or not, Mazz.
Yeah, apples and oranges. That thing in Kansas City was about the Chiefs screwing up. They had nothing to do with the officiating. D Ford made a boneheaded mistake. It's akin to having 12 men on the field, what Detroit did on Sunday. That's not the issue. The issue is the whining about what Mahomes gets away with. Brady got away with a crap ton.
It's a different level from Mahomes.
Well, I don't disagree with that. But again, Murray, star players are going to get protected no matter who they are.
And this is extra protection.
Magic Hat is real. Subject line. I meant to send this last night, but I was in no condition to do so. I'm just recovering now from celebrating. Just skip to the 15-second mark of this link. I don't know what link it is. I'm sorry, I don't have it. It validates how right Jim Murray is. Big Jim, ooh, you are so right. Too much celebrating about Jaden Daniels. What a badass. 299 yards, no interceptions, and sitting on the sidelines like an emotionless badass mother lover. Oh, my head. Love the Magic Hat. Murray, your thoughts?
I mean, just that thing I put in the email. Like, he's a rookie. I expected some level of, him getting tripped up, the moment being too big. After that ridiculous fourth down attempt they had with stupid Marcus Mariota, they never made a mistake, and neither did Jaden Daniels. So after that happened, Washington put together 4 straight scoring drives. 10 plays, field goal, 11 plays, touchdown, 3 plays, touchdown, 7 plays, touchdown. And the Lions kept turning it over. But Daniels is he's unflappable. And he was almost, I gave Mazz the QBR number. It's was 95.6 against the blitz. Keep blitzing him. Any of you dumb DCs. Do it next week, Vic Fangio. Please, I beg of you. Because they have if he's going to play like that, they have a legitimate chance to go to the Super Bowl.
To me, I love his accuracy. He's fearless with it, too. He can throw the ball in tight windows, zip it in there, and he's not afraid to try. He knows he's accurate, and he trusts it.
Sean writes in, let Murray run. Murray is better than delivered, he said. Murray said he wasn't a morning guy, and he wasn't lying. At the gym right now, absolutely dying laughing. Thanks, boys. Great show. If you have a chance to go listen to the podcast, the first 10 minutes, legit, authentic misery from Big Jim Murray. It's tremendous. Authentic. Let's try and zip through a couple quick calls here. Tom and Quincy, go quick.
Hey, what's going on real quick? Hey, I'm not one for conspiracies and stuff. I hate it. But why is it? It seemed like every other play in every game over the weekend was something that just didn't add up. Mark Andrews, of all athletes, of all football players, the guy's phenomenal. He's been phenomenal his whole career. I've never seen a guy S the bed like that in the biggest game of his career like he did.
2 drops, fumble, that drop to lose the game. Murray, what did you say?
Oh, I mean, I've never seen him play like that in my life. It deserves further investigation. And now, people are so I didn't know this, just like the OCD thing with the kicker. And so now, do you know Mark Andrews is like a type 1 diabetic? And like people are saying, like, well, maybe he had low blood sugar last night. Like, we're going to do this now.
Oh, wait a minute. But back to the OC. We're not allowed to make fun of the Washington kicker?
Oh, there's a little pushback with that. Yeah.
Oh, my God. That kickoff?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was the other mistake.
He missed a couple, and he missed a couple yesterday, too.
No, you're Washington. They played Saturday night. He didn't miss any. The Eagles kicker missed a couple yesterday.
Yeah, you're thinking of the Eagles.
Didn't the Washington kicker miss, too?
No, he kicked out of bounds. He didn't miss. Shockingly, he didn't. Oh, no, maybe he did. He did miss one. He did miss one late.
I thought he did.
Yeah, he did miss one late. But that kickoff, that initial kickoff that went out of bounds.
Oh, I was like, here we go.
He must have crapped his pants in the locker room.
So, but wait a minute. We're not allowed to make fun of him?
Well, I mean, it's one I would say maybe tread lightly because...
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
I can't make fun of a nervous, jittery kicker?
Well, he's dealing with OCD. Why?
Oh, my God. Please, no. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear it. For him, Mike.
I don't want to hear it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that's it. Yeah. That became a thing last week.
Brian in Newport. Shoot the breeze. Go ahead, Brian.
There we go. Like one of your previous callers said, by the way, usually he's like 4 Bud Lights in by your 3 o'clock hour. I go by the program, not the hour. So, thank you for going on earlier. So now by 10 a.m. I got a buzz. But anyways, every time I go to my dad, it could be 0 degrees, 100 degrees. He's out there grilling. So curious for you guys. He's a heavier set SOB, so maybe that's why he loves grilling in the winter. You guys have seasons you like to grill in, things you think you're good at, not virtual golf, Mazz, but more grilling-wise, things you hate, snobs, etc., grilla type.
I'll stop you. Grilling has got to be 12 months a year, 365 days a year. I'm not a big snow shoveler, Mazz, but I will, in the big snows, I will shovel a path to my grill to make sure that I can grill in the middle of January, February, etc. You got to have the grill.
Definitely, year-round. You don't grill during the winter, forget it. Why do you have one at all? 12 months a year, babe. Get your ass out there.
Same. I'll grill anytime, anywhere. I don't care if it's snowing out. And the best thing, sometimes when it is snowing, you're over that, grilling the meat, you got a cigar in. Oh, that makes you feel like a man.
Yeah, it's being a man.
And I'm great at it.
What's your greater skill, Mazz? Grilling or snowblowing?
I got to go with grilling because it's year-round. I mean, but I have, and I say this in all seriousness, get yourself a good thermometer and don't be one of these a-holes who say, well, I could go by the feel.
Really?
Yeah, get yourself a good thermometer. My wife got me one of those Thermopens. It's expensive. It's like $100 for a thermometer. It's ridiculous.
Murray, is there any toy or gadget or thing that Mazz doesn't have? Is there anything he doesn't have?
A Thermopen.
You know why it's called?
He's got a Thermopen for his grill.
Do you know what the benefit of it is? Instant temperature.
Thermopen.
Yeah. It's not like one of these you have to stick in and wait 2 minutes for it to reach its temperature. You put it in, it gives you the instant temperature, and always take, if you're like, for example, medium rare on a steak would be like 130, 135 degrees. Okay, call 135. Take the steak off the grill 5 degrees before that because it cooks when you take it off. Yeah, but a lot of people don't know that.
And then after he takes the temperature of the steak, he'll take that Thermopen and sign a copy of This Is Our City and send it to you.
Dip it in. I do have a little jar of ink, and I can do that as well.
Cal in Weymouth, quick.
Hey, guys. Usually I have Monday off, and I don't get to hear you in the afternoon. It's a pleasure to hear you this morning. What do you guys think about Notre Dame tonight? I think if they play some good D and pressure the quarterback, maybe score first, they get a shot. What do you
Yeah, who do you want, Murray?
I want Notre Dame, and I never thought I would say those words because the coach has made them likable. And it'd be nice to see Burt Breer have to squirm and watch Ohio State lose. I just don't like, they're two hateable teams. But the less hateable right now because of the coach in Freeman is Notre Dame. That number, so Ohio State's favored by 8.5. The way Notre Dame has played throughout this tournament, doesn't that feel high? Am I a sucker for wanting to take those points?
The thing that stood out there is you wanting to root against Ohio State because of Burt. This is a real thing. you become a fan of or you root against a team because you want someone you know to suffer. Like I know there are now thousands of fans across New England who root against the Packers. I mean, I can feel it. Anytime they lose, I get the emails, I can feel it. I can just feel the energy that I have created all these anti-Packer fans who ordinarily wouldn't give two poops about the Packers, but now want the Packers to lose because of me. I know that this exists.
This has now happened with Jaden Daniels, because, again, he has already been proven to be better than Drake May and will always be better than Drake May. So, I feel that, too. Washington's got to go down. What about your guy now? Well, my guy is now in the NFC Championship game and just keeps winning, and now winning playoff games. It has comeback wins, things that Drake May has never done. Might never do. You hope. I hope. But we'll see.
I'm not rooting against Ohio State and Burt Breer. I'm rooting against Ryan Day.
Oh, I hate
that
him
guy
too.
is
I
a
like
freaking
Burt, but I hate
tool.
Ryan Day. Yeah.
He's a spoon. I am, and if he ends up as the OC of the Patriots, we are going to rip the hell out of him.
Pat in Franklin, go ahead, Pat.
All right, 1 point and one question. Point is, this is the Bills' year, Murray. Andrews dropping that ball. I am in, and question for Felger. I'm going to one of the most underrated cities this week for Marquette, Villanova. Tell me what to do in Milwaukee. I have a 5-hour window. Help me out.
I'm just I've spent so little time there recent years.
I don't know that I would call Milwaukee underrated.
Yeah, right.
It is underrated. It's an underrated place to live. It is properly rated as not a great place to visit. There's just not a lot. You're going, you said in this month?
I think he said this weekend.
This week, go drink beer and eat sausage. That's it. I can't tell you. I don't know what to do at this time of year. It's an underrated place to live, and it was a great place to grow up. It's not a great place to visit.
It says here they have the National Bobblehead Hall of Fame and Museum, the world's only museum dedicated to bobbleheads.
My point exactly. Perfect. Joy in Rockland. Go ahead, Joy.
Hi, I just want to say, first of all, Salty Morning Murray is my
Magic.
favorite. I love Salty Afternoon Murray as well, but Salty Morning Murray is great. Felger, you made the point that people complain about winter and we act as if we've never experienced it before, and people complain. Those same people will then complain come, second week in July, once the humidity comes and the heat comes, that it's too hot. So I don't know that it's a weather thing. It's just a New England thing. We need something to complain about.
Weather complainers. But there is something about the drama that exists here when snow's coming. Drama. It's just, I don't get it. You all grew up in it. Why the drama? Every time there's a couple of flakes, Murray. Why the drama?
I think a lot of it stems from the blizzard of '78, and that paranoia definitely was seeped into me because my parents having to deal with that at the time. I mean, they didn't shut up about it their whole lives. May they both rest in peace. That then gets baked in, and it's just like a New England thing. It's part of our collective, caustic, miserable attitude. I find it charming.
Zach in Michigan, don't want to leave you hanging. Real quick, finish us off here.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I agree with Jim Murray. You guys are completely wrong. My frustration isn't with Mahomes getting calls. I understand all the great quarterbacks get them. Is with the timing. It always feels like he gets the big call in the highest leverage moment. Example, that roughing the passer penalty on third down, which extended their drive and led to a score. And then I just think of two other big moments. The AFC Championship game against the Bengals, he got that late hit out of bounds that extended their final drive, led to the game-winning field goal. And then 2 weeks later in the Super Bowl, third down, he misses the pass against the Eagles. And what happens? Pass interference, touchdown, game over. So that's all I have to say.
Zach, it doesn't bother you as a Patriots fan?
Yeah, that was Zach in Michigan. He didn't say he was a Patriots fan. And did you hear?
What do you think?
Did you hear his voice?
Calling the Sports Hub. What do you think?
I frankly think that was a pseudonym. That guy sounded just like Charles Davis, the analyst for CBS. So that's now two analysts. You had Aikman in the game being pissed about what he was watching, and Mahomes getting those calls, and Charles Davis, a.k.a. Zach in Michigan, just calling in to also say what I'm watching and having a call as a professional broadcaster. This feels like the WWE.
I think Aikman's jealous, too, because Mahomes is about to do something he couldn't, which is win 3 Super Bowls in a row.
I like it, Mazz. It's all agenda-ridden.
Of course it is.
Except for us.
Aikman, that loser.
The stack comes your way next here on Toucher and Hardy.
Sports Hub headlines.
Got yourselves a double dip of Bruins and Celtics for an MLK Day matinee today, starting with the Bruins coming off Saturday's overtime loss to the Senators. They're home at TD Garden hosting the San Jose Sharks. Puck drops at 1, pregame at 12:30. Ryan Johnston, Bob Beers with your call right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Then you keep it here on the Sports Hub with the Celtics as they're going to be on the road against the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green ruled out calf injury. Tip-off at 5, Grandy and Max with the call. Michael Silverman of the Boston Globe reporting that the Celtics are going to have at least 4, maybe 5 bids from prospective new owners with an ultimate sale price higher than $6 billion. First round of the sale process will close in 3 days. And then from that initial group of 4 or 5, 2 bidders will be chosen in February to submit to a final round of bidding. According to NBA insider Mark Stein, Milwaukee Bucks reportedly among the teams that looked into acquiring the Miami Heat's Jimmy Butler. Championship weekend of the NFL is set. NFC Championship game next Sunday at 3. It's Washington and Philadelphia, followed by the AFC Championship game, Bills, Chiefs in Kansas City. Both games for Reiss to play in Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. And the College Football National Championship game takes place tonight at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. 14-1 Notre Dame takes on 13-2 Ohio State. Buckeyes come into the game 8.5-point favorite. Headlines are brought to you by Village Automotive. Village Auto looking for A technicians to join their team. It's time to put your skills to work where they're truly valued. Visit villageautomotive.com/careers to grow your career and your paycheck today. That's villageautomotive.com/careers. I'm Jim Murray for Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
cliche number 1. Hey everybody, it's FM in the AM. Cheesy radio cliche number 2. Hey everybody, it's the AM with FM. Thank you. You're listening to Felger and Mazz early in the morning. In for Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
And The Stack is brought to you by D'Angelo Grilled Sandwiches. Freshly grilled, freakishly good. The D'Angelo Classic Steak and Cheese, savory steak, and melty American cheese piled high on golden brown bread. Devour one today. Mazz Murray in our Tom for Tire studios. Me come to you remotely, wrapping up the program here. The morning show takeover. Here's one item. Mazz mentioned this earlier in his Celtics. We did a little Celtics talk coming off a loss to Atlanta. And Jason Tatum getting into it a little bit underneath the basket, for like one of the few times we can remember. But this Jaylen Brown situation, and Himmelsbach wrote something about this in the Globe. He said something has just seemed off with Jaylen Brown for much of the season, particularly recently. There have been games in which he has simply looked disconnected. He appeared to be going through the motions at times during Wednesday's surprising loss to the Raptors. And in Saturday's loss to the Hawks, 8 of his 27 shot attempts were blocked. An almost unfathomable number, writes Adam. He says Brown is shooting 44.9% from the field, under 45%, and 32% from the three-point line, both career lows. Also, a career low 45% of his field goals have been assisted. So I don't know what that, how do I read that?
He's not creating on his own.
He has also not taken part, Mazz, in post-game media sessions after any of the last 4 games, and he specifically declined requests in the last 2. It's been a rocky first half of the season for the All-Star, who was atop the basketball world last spring when he was named MVP of the conference finals and NBA finals. What do you think's going on?
To me, it screams of something off court. So, again, when you add it all up, it's one of 2 things. Let me say, something off court or an injury. So I'm a little worried because, do you remember earlier in the year, there was a report about his hip?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I would be worried about that. When there's that type of precipitous drop-off, and when I say precipitous, meaning it seems to be affecting him in all areas. And the other night, I told you in that Wednesday night game, he looked disengaged. And I sort of...
The Toronto game.
Yeah. Yeah, I sort of wondered if, guys get frustrated when they can't do the things they're accustomed to doing. And so I do wonder about that hip.
I have one here, Mike. Over the weekend, the Dodgers signed premier reliever Tanner Scott, 4 years, $72 million. The Red Sox reportedly really wanted him and offered more money. Mazz, your thoughts?
Okay, so I said this to Murray off air, which is why he's asking me. This is now 2 guys that you can say the money was not a factor, that they didn't come to Boston. One was Sasaki. The Red Sox never even got in that, and his contract was going to be a minor league deal from the get-go, and the posting fee was, the same for everybody. So the system isn't the same as it used to be. So the cost for Sasaki was the same for everyone. They were never in it, never even had a chance. Now they offered a guy more money, and he chose not to come here. So this, to me, is the damage to the brand that they've done. They had to go through 10 or 12 candidates for GM. There are guys turning them down, not because they won't pay, but because they don't want to play here. That should scare the crap out of you.
Okay, so we've certainly got some things to pick at when Felger and Mazz returns tomorrow at 2 p.m. We're going to cue back up all the anger and angst and all that stuff about the Chiefs and the refs, everything from the weekend. I want to follow up on this Jaylen Brown story, whatever. Want to thank Ryan Beaton behind the glass and Kyle for helping us out this morning. Mazz, Murray, thanks, guys, for getting up this morning.
Yeah,
all of that.
We did it.
Okay, that's done. What do we got coming up next, Ryan? What do we got before Bruins?
Oh, no, it's Zoe and Beetle. McCall did the whole show. They're all doing it.
Excellent. Zoe and Beetle. Then we have Bruins. Then we have Celtics. Enjoy the holiday, the inauguration, whatever your fancy there. Felger Mazz returns tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. Goodbye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.